Incredible. There you go. You guys can see our table boss there, Math Mallow. We're here for the Six Nations. So let's just have a little scan around the venue. Look, the venue itself
is incredible.
Is absolutely great. This is the second floor of what is a stupendous little venue. It's just absolutely brilliant. So don't be underwhelmed by the comms booth. Don't be underwhelmed by the comms booth. So we've got a pretty exciting weekend, right?
It's going to be awesome. Obviously, 6 teams.
Yep.
8 players.
8 players per team.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's going to be a riot.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. So if you guys want to look at the lists are there's a link to the list in the chat, so you guys can do that. And if you watch it back on YouTube, it'll be in the show notes. So international team format event is pretty complicated, or it's really simple. Yeah, like 2 teams of 8, they clash, they play. There's a scoring system, called the Matrix. We'll look at that in a little moment. Or is it going to be? No, not yet. So you guys will be able to see that. We're only going to be covering 4 of the 8 games that are happening or in a single match, but there will be a link to all of the information for how those matches are going. It's a lot of data to show you guys on the screen.
So much.
It's so much.
So much data.
The pairings have already happened between the 2 teams. That was also a very complicated process.
It is.
It's a long story.
It takes
but basically, we've got 4 great games of Age of Sigmar to show you, and we're going to do that today, right?
Oh, yeah. And we're going to smash it as well.
Yeah, so the 6 nations who are playing, as you will have seen already, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and Sweden. England are the reigning champions.
They are the reigning champions, but they didn't go to AOS Worlds, so they didn't win that.
They are not the reigning world champions.
They haven't had much international experience since lockdown.
That's true, and some of their members aren't necessarily haven't played a lot of Age of Sigmar 3, so there's an opportunity for them to potentially fall by the way.
If it's the year to take them down, I think this is the year.
This is the one. This is the one. All right, so we're going to jump to. So again, lovely venue. There you go. There's all these matches happening around. After the first round, we're probably going to start bringing you some live updates from different bits. So we got lots of. There you go. Lots of people playing all around the room. There's Wales versus Wales. Northern Ireland versus Republic Ireland are playing, and then over in the corner you've got Sweden up against England in a pretty tight first match. So that'll be fun.
It's going to be a brilliant match, that one.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. So that's over there. There you can see the rest of the Welsh team playing the other Scots boys as well. Look at that fantastic. Before we get on with the games, can we just talk about this? Sweden bringing the mustache game to 6 nations.
That is incredible.
That is
awesome.
Oh my goodness. Great shot there. Look at that. So yeah, that's how you play.
That is how you play.
That's how you play. All right, let's start talking about the games we're going to cover for round 1. On table 1, we got JP Gannis of Listbot, Team Scotland, running his Breaker Tribe Mega Gargants. And Adam, what's in this list? Surprise me.
Well, there are 4 Mega Gargants, which is fairly obvious. There are 2 War Stompers and 2 Gatebreakers. And that's really it. They are in 2 battalions. You've got the Bosses of the Stomp Magnificent and Bosses of the Stomp Unified. One of the Gatebreakers has Old and Gnarly, and the other has the Enchanted Portcullis. And the other Gatebreaker, you'll never guess what artifacts it's got.
Amulet of Destiny.
Oh, yeah, it's got an Amulet of
Destiny. Excellent.
And JP's going to be going for those really big brain plays in this game, and it's definitely not a rip-off of Fabian's list at all. So you would have seen this list played recently.
It's not
wait,
even
can
his
you
list.
Can you not claim that list?
No,
oh wait, because they're not inventive, are they?
Well,
there we go.
It's just literally the same list in every format. Anyway, so he's already taken the first turn, by the way. Our table bosses for the day, Mark and Matt, give them a shout out in the chat if you guys can. They'll be bringing us all the hot goss. They've already let us know that JP's already taken the first turn against Andy Hughes' Dracothian's Tale.
Yep.
Right? So, as you can see, and he's chosen Ferocious Advance. Unsurprisingly, that's going to net him 3 VP turn 1. He's moved forward. These 3 models, they've done Ferocious Advance. Just to quickly remind everyone, just because you might be new, you might want to know what Ferocious Advance does.
Oh, look at
this. There we
this.
go. You pick 3 units from your starting army. If all those units run and end within 3 inches of each other, as you can see they have, you get a VP. Pretty much the turn 1 battle tactic.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You don't see anything else taken, right?
Especially if you're Gargants, because it's literally walk the 3 babies forward, score some points. Lovely.
So there we go. Turn 1, JP's already got it. So he's up against Andy Hughes' Seraphon list.
He is.
Maybe one of the few lists that's got the output to take the Gargants off. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. So he's running the Dracothian's Tail with, he's got 5 Salamanders. So I think they are up in the sky or in the Slan's mind at the moment. And they'll be probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see them drop here first turn and try and take this Gargant out, because he's at least on his own, so you've got a chance to take 1 down a turn.
I agree.
And against these Gargants, you've got to try and take at least 1 a turn. The rest of the list, he's got a Skink Starseer, Ashlift Bearer, and then a Celestant Prime. So we're going to see a bit of prime time at some point, and I reckon he's going to hold him up until about turn 3, drop him down, and hopefully nuke 1 Gargant.
It's a big play.
It's got to be a big play against Gargants, though, right?
It has. Now, the big real question is those Salamanders, right? They're pretty outputty.
They are.
They're pretty outputty. Let's have a quick look at them, shall we? And let's look at these Salamanders. It's the Stream of Fire attack is the one that's really important there. 12-inch range, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, wound on 3s, Ren 2, D3 damage.
Yep.
But they've got that special ability, it burns.
It burns?
It burns. It burns. Something I think we've all felt at some point in our lives. And that does D3 mortal wounds if you roll a 6 to hit.
Okay.
So that D3 damage turns into mortal wounds on 6s to hit. So, you can do quite well with that. That goes through the armor save, although the Ren 2 is also pretty good as well.
Yeah, that Ren 2 is really good, especially when those Gargants are on a 4-up save.
But it's a lot of damage to try to do to the Gargants.
It is. I'm not sure if the Seraphon have got the output.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if they have either.
But I think they can give it a good go.
Yeah, okay.
And I think this mission is probably rough for Andy, because it is Savage Games. So you score 1 point for your home objective, you score 2 points for the middle, and then 4 for your opponent's objective.
Yeah.
So JP can literally just sit on the 2 middle ones and say, all right, I'm scoring more than you for pretty much the whole game.
And also that brings us into another quick conversation about the matrix. So here, when you score at this event, you score 15 points if you get the primary, i.e. if you win. If you win the match, you get 15 points. Really simple. But if you win very narrowly, as you can see at the bottom here, it's 15-5.
Okay.
And because it's a team format, don't forget your 1 match of 8 matches happening. Yeah, you want to try and make that differential that you win by as high as possible.
Yeah.
Because, or if you're losing, you want to make that differential as low as possible, so you still get 5 points.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of very close games, and I think you're going to see a lot of. Don't think you're going to see a lot of 20-0s.
No,
basically.
I think we're going to see a lot of 17-3s, 18-2s.
Yeah, because you still have to get a differential of 20 points to get that to push those up. So as you can see, it's in increments of 4. So that's just really something important for you guys to kind of just think about, basically.
So I think a big bit of news on this table. So Andy has gone for Conquer as his battle tactic. So on this objective here. So his plan is to kill that Gargant.
Yeah, in 1 turn.
In 1 turn.
That's pretty impressive.
Fully wounded Gargant, and he's going for it.
Well, so it's the War Stomper.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But anyway, that's one of our matches. We'll come back to that because that's actually really exciting. Right, so it's going to be really, really fun to see if that works out. Over on table 2, our other matchup, we've got David Jack for Scotland.
Yep.
And Simon again for Wales. And oh boy, the list.
Just look at this.
The list that broke the internet. That's right. Simon running his host duplicitous, but fresh off the back of a 5-0 victory.
Yep.
Last weekend.
And the win of the Just Play series, wasn't it?
Win of the Just Play series, went 4-1 at Bobo.
Yep.
Has been pushing this list around, doing really, really well. Simon with his host duplicitous, 70 pink horrors.
70
pink horrors.
Okay.
Is it 70? It's 30, 20,
60.
and 10. 60, sorry.
Only 60.
30 and 2 10s.
30, 20, 10.
Oh, yeah, that's 60.
60,
okay.
yeah, I can do
thanks.
maths.
Thanks, appreciate that. Okay, so he's got 60 pink horrors that he's pushing forward. And what else is in the list?
Importantly, so he's got the Lord of Change in there and a Change Caster Herald of Zeech. So not actually a lot. It's all in pink horrors. But in his endless spells, he's got the Chronomat and Cogs, and he's also got the Soul Screen Bridge. So that Soul Screen Bridge is to literally teleport the unit of 30 to there, and then auto make that 9-inch charge, and just tie in all of this stuff, because he's in host duplicitous. So you can't retreat from it.
No, you can't. That's the key point. You can't retreat from it. And those horrors, let's just talk about them for a little minute. They've only got a wound each, so they've only got a 6-up save. But it's this ability over here, split and split again, which is why they're taken. Those 30, when you kill them, they explode into 2 each.
They do.
So it's going to turn into 60. And that's all they do. As you can see, their shooting attacks okay. Like they've got 3 attacks each on their pink horrors.
They
so
do.
You do get 90 shots out of them hitting on 5s, which is fine.
But with all out attack, they go to 4s. And then if he's taken the triumph of inspired, which he is, you can put that wounds to a 3-up.
Yeah.
So it can be 4s and 3s, which actually could do quite a lot.
Could do quite a lot. So he's up against David Jack's Castelli list. By the way, we've just heard that on this table, Simon has taken the first turn.
I am not surprised.
Oh, I'm not
by
surprised.
That
Not forgetting
at all.
he's a 1-drop. Again, just for you guys at home, 1-drop means he gets the choice on who gets to go first. He's taking the first turn, so we're going to see that bridge.
Yeah, we're going to see that bridge just go all the way forward, and he's just going to pin all this army in.
That's all he's going to do. Yeah. So talk to me about the Castelli list, because. What's in it? What's David's got?
So the Castelli list is running Manfred. So Manfred is a really interesting character. If he's in the combat, if he's in a combat in the start of the combat phase, he can teleport somewhere else on the board. He's also got a White King on Skeletal Steed with the Rousing Commander and Grave Sand Shard. And then for his battle line, he's got 10 Blood Knights, 5 Blood Knights, 5 Blood Knights, 5 Blood Knights. So a total of 25 Blood Knights, then 20 Graveguard, 3x3 Fellbats in a battle regiment and hunters. So those Blood Knights are really good on the charge.
And as you can see, yeah, they're
which
currently
is a key point here.
Key point here. They're currently screened behind these buildings here. But when we see this bridge go off in a moment, we're going to see the auto charge. Don't forget that Tzeentch have got Destiny dice.
Yep.
We don't know what the Destiny dice that Simon have at the minute, because he could have rolled.
He's gonna have a 9.
He could have a 9.
He's gonna have a 9.
He might not have a 9. That's going to be something we'll find out from our table boss in a minute. But he could have a 9, and so we'll see about that. So that's going to be really interesting, because if he does, he's going to be able to put those 30 pink horrors, charge them, pile them in, and try and lock up as many units as possible.
Yeah. And Blood Knights really aren't that great when they haven't charged. They've got a lot of attacks, but they're only 1 damage.
Yeah.
So I think this is a rough match for David.
Yeah. So Blood Knights have got the ability to run over units, but it counts as a retreat, right? The ability to move away. That's a great question. We'll find out from our table bosses right now whether or not the Blood Knight ability to move away it's a normal move. Right, so they might be able to get themselves out of here. So this is a good pairing for Team Scotland.
Yeah, I think it's just because they're a 12-inch move though, so he might be Simon might be able to just position himself so he can't actually get anywhere.
Maybe.
So I think it makes it a little bit more interesting than I first thought.
Yeah. We'll find out how we'll find out.
But I'm still not sure he's got the damage output.
No,
that's the issue.
Yeah, that's still the issue.
He might be able to move.
Yeah,
but he won't be able to kill him.
Can he take the objective? Probably not. That's going to be important. Over on table 3, we've got Andy Curry, the captain of Team Scotland, up against Alex Bruce with his Keltnar. Now, Alex, as you can see, is already moved into his first turn. Now, Andy's got the 30 Sentinels. He's running the other LRL list that we're going to talk about. He's got that 30 Sentinels in the back there. He's got his unit of Wardens in a line. And then he's got Severith and 2 Wind Spirits over here.
He
right?
does.
And now Alex is running this kind of Keltnar, slightly different Marathi list. He does have the Bow Snakes, but he's only got, he does have 15.
He does have 25.
Yeah.
But there's a 10. Oh, sorry, he's got 20, so it's a 10, a 5, and a 5.
Which is quite... Normally you see the brick of 15. As you can see, by the way, Marathi playing very aggressively. And as you can see, he's got his... what else is in the list, Adam? Sorry.
So in the list, you've got the Bloodbrack Medusa. You've got Marathi Khaine, obviously, the Shadow Queen. Then you've got Battle Line, 10 Bloodstalkers, 5 Bloodstalkers. 10 Bloodstalkers, 5 Bloodstalkers, 5 Bloodstalkers. And then his other units, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of 5 Khaine Life Takers. So he's got 30 Life Takers. And because he's Keltnar, he's also going to have another 5 in the sky. So essentially he's got 35 Life Takers in the list. And Keltnar also allows you to retreat and charge as well. So that could be quite an interesting play. I think he's going to struggle with... I think he's going to be okay against the Foxes because he's got the shooting to deal with them. And then Marathi, you can get into the Sentinels quite easily. They can only do 3 wounds to her. Yeah. So I think this is actually not a bad play for Alex, but not because of the Khaine, because of the Snakes and Marathi.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the Sentinels are able to do out of this. But of course, probably one of the best one of the most mobile units in Age of Sigmar, these Wind Spirits and Severith, have got some pretty decent output because the Khaine don't really have, they're not very, very survivable, right? So one of the issues is going to be that he's going to be able to pick them out quite nicely. Again, if we just take a moment to look at them, we could look at Severith or the Wind Spirit, but the Wind Spirits themselves, they move 24, they shoot 18. 4 attacks, 2s, 3s, Rend 2, D3 damage.
Yep.
So just one Wind Spirit is going to be able to take out a unit of Khaine on its own, basically.
Potentially, yeah. And don't forget, when they move over a unit, they can do mortal wounds as well. And they're moving in your opponent's turn, so they can do the mortal wounds in there. So they've also got the splash mortal wounds with their moving.
Yeah. There's also that, of course. Yeah, there's all the damage that you've got from there. So actually, this MSU style that you got from Alex probably plays quite nicely into Andy's list and the Wind Spirits.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And let's not ignore the fact that the Sentinels actually outrange the bow snakes.
They do, because the Sentinel's 30-inch range and those snakes are only a 24-inch range.
Yeah.
But the snakes do move faster.
But so it's 36. Effective at range is 36 because the Sentinels move 6 inches, and then so it's 32.
32 for the snakes.
Move 8 on the bow snake. So really interesting to see. What's the battle tactic? We'll find out what the battle tactic Alex has chosen first for this battle plan here. And then our final match, just for you guys, just to follow up, is Paul Deduca with his Idneth Deepkin Futhwan versus Matt Goldsborough of the Bad Moon Loons and also Team Wales with his Lumineth Realm Lords Sire. So Matt's got a very similar Lumineth Realm Lords list to the one we looked at earlier.
No, he's got the Techless build.
Oh, has he got a Techless?
So I'm sure he's running the Techless build. I will quickly find that list and run through it. So
he must do because it's right there.
Is running, so he's running Sire. So he's the only Sire list at this event. And he's got Techless, a Hurricane Wind Mage, Battle Line. He's got 20 Wardens, 10 Wardens, 20 Sentinels, and another 10 Sentinels. So he's got the 30, but in 2 units. He's then also got 1 Achillean Alapex. He's got the Emerald Life Swarm and the Umbral Spell Portal. So he's going to be able to do the Techless Technado that we like to see. So you throw the Spell Portal forward, use Techless spell, and just do loads of Splash Mortal Wounds, which is going to be really, really good into Paul's Futhan list, because Paul is running a lot of MSU. He's got Futhan. He's running the Tidecaster, so he's going to be flipping those tides so he can be striking first on turn 2. He's got the Eidolon aspect of the Storm, which is the combat one with the 18-inch +1 wound aura. He's got 3x10 Thralls, and then he's got 3 Ishlane Guard, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Achillean Alapexes, all in units of 1.
Ooh.
So Techless is going to have an absolute field day with that. And then he's also got the Achillean Leviathan for that +1 save.
Yeah. So it's a pretty exciting match. This particular one, I'm not sure how do you rate this? How do you think this pans out?
I actually think it's going to be a fairly even match.
Okay.
Because although the Technado can do a lot of damage, it looks like Paul's done obviously the clever thing and spread out. So it's not going to be bombing him too much. And don't forget, with Idneth, because of Forgotten Nightmares, you have to shoot the closest enemy unit.
Yep.
So all those Sentinels are going to be controlled by Paul, because Paul's going to be able to say, now you shoot this, now you shoot this. So Matt won't have that play around, I need to kill this guy, I need to kill this unit, I need to kill that unit. And most of his output is coming from those Sentinels, and Paul can control where that output's going.
Well, talking about output, table 1, we said that it was a bold move on Andy, turn 1, to drop down, to choose to murder this War Stomper at the top. We've already heard in the shooting phase that the Bastiladon has fired into the War Stomper and has done big 0 damage.
No.
Big 0 damage is what we just heard from our table bosses.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, absolutely wild. So
I feel like Andy probably should have learnt this from when he was playing the Super Series against Gargants, and he said, I'm going to kill a Gargant, and then didn't kill it.
Yeah.
But apparently he's not learned from those mistakes.
He has not. He has not. Well, if we just take a quick moment to look at the Bastiladon, it's got 24-inch range, and it starts out with, I think it starts out with 8 attacks.
Yeah, it's something like 8 attacks, yeah.
And it's Rend 1, but it is damage 2, so he'll be looking to have done some shots with the Bastiladon there and do some damage. However, the Salamanders have dropped. They've done their shooting, And they have taken.
How have they done?
The Mega Gargant is now down to 11 wounds
I'm sorry,
left.
they've just done 24 damage.
24 damage. Now, it's pretty key that he gets the charge off.
Yep.
Because he needs to kill him now.
And unlike Tzeentch, he doesn't get those Destiny dice.
Yeah, he doesn't get those Destiny dice. He does have a lot of CP. As you can see, he's already sat on 7 CP.
Oh, standard.
Standard. So his ability to generate CP is pretty high. He went second, so he got
Yep.
2 CP for that. His general's on the board, and also he generates them from the slan.
Yeah, he does. He's going to be really... He needs to get those charges. I wouldn't be surprised if he needs to get 2 charges to kill that Gargant.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, so the Bastie's in.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty
Maybe
wild.
he's going for... Because he's doing... no, because he's not doing... Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that.
Maybe it's the only thing that got in.
Maybe.
Like, it only. Should we just quickly... Like, this is why I've did all of the stats on it. Look at the Bastillodon. Its damage profile does have 3 attacks that are D3 damage, right? So,
but it's only Rend 1, and that Gargant's going to be doing an all-out defense.
It is going to be... Oh, it might not be... He's got 1 CP, so he is going to be sat on it. But we've just seen the Salamanders charge. So this is pretty important to see if these Salamanders are going to make it in. Because if they don't, it's very unlikely. In fact, what could they max out at? They could do 9 damage, which is not the 11 that they need to take him off. And this is going to be pretty huge, because this means Andy's going to drop a battle tactic round 1.
And lose out on scoring 2 points. So he's actually losing out on about 5 points.
Wait, he's not charging with the Salamanders. Does he outscore? Maybe he outscores. Maybe with the bodies. So the Bastillodon is worth 5 because he's a monster.
Yep.
And then I guess he's got enough other bodies on the board that he's dropped on to outscore.
No.
Yeah, he must have. Must have. There we go. Looks like he's already holding it. There we go. So then he's just using the Bastillodon to hold him up, which is quite important actually now because what's JP going to do? Is JP
We're
going to...
forgetting.
What?
He's not Take a Tribe, he's Break a Tribe.
Yeah, he's Break a
So
Tribe.
he's only counting as 20, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 20.
Not there
30.
we go.
So like it does mean what is JP going to do here? Is he going to split his forces and move one into kind of this zone? And actually Andy's been fairly smart here because actually if he does bring it over, there's only so much range for him to go and attack in.
Yeah, I think JP just goes for it though.
Yeah.
You just you throw 3 Mega Gargants at those Salamanders, you kill that output, and then there's no way of Andy coming back from that.
No, and JP's done really well like on the first turn. So we'll see how
Has he? He's moved.
Listen.
He's
you got to play it. Let's just see how Simon has unpacked his army here. Looks pretty good. Adam, talk to me about what you think we're seeing here.
Yeah, so Simon is literally doing exactly what we said. He's cast the Soul Screen Bridge. He's bringing those pink horrors around 9 inches away from them. He's going to be doing that 9-inch charge with those Destiny dice to try and just hold up as much as possible and just block out all of this board space so that these Blood Knights really struggle to get out. And honestly, I don't think that those Blood Knights are going to be able to deal with a unit of 30 pink horrors because that is, what are we looking at? I can't remember how many wounds it is. It's over 100 wounds in there. So 150 wounds in that unit of pink horrors. So those Blood Knights just don't have 150 wounds worth of output.
Nowhere near. We haven't heard whether or not he's... Yeah. Right, so just do some quick updates, by the way. On table 4... No, table 3. So we'll get it as we learn. Over here, we've seen Morathi charge in. We saw Morathi charge into the Law Seeker.
Okay.
And kill the Law Seeker belonging to Andy. He did take 3 mortal wounds. Morathi, sorry. She took 3 mortal wounds, obviously, from the standard shoot already. That, but that means the Law Seeker is gone. And the Law Seeker is a pretty cool unit because it holds an objective. So Law Seeker was based here and holds it until you kill it. So that's what we saw happen in the first turn, which is quite an interesting play by Alex because basically he's saying to Andy, are you going to try and come and cap objectives? But of course, we haven't seen any of the shenanigans yet. The exciting shenanigans that we're going to see from the Wind Spirits. We're going to see them bop over here. They're going to bop over here and grab objectives quite easily. And outscore.
I think this was a mistake.
Well, I don't know because actually
I think letting Morathi drop 3 wounds in your own turn in the first turn is going to be massive in this game.
Well, so we got the priority. No, we don't have the priority coming up. We've got Andy's got to his first turn to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's already dropped 3 wounds on Marathi. He can then easily drop another 3 wounds on her in his turn. So she's already half wounded in turn 1. So we could see Marathi drop turn 2 now because of that charge.
But I think what's quite nice is he's making, like, he's effectively forcing, because so he loses 6, right, on this turn, and then the priority he loses 6. Still not dead, yeah? Like, because that's 9 in total on Marathi.
Yep.
Yeah, because Marathi, by the way, can only take 3 wounds per player turn.
Yep.
And needs 12 wounds to die. So in the worst situation, like he after a priority roll, he's taken, well, Marathi's taken 9, which means he has to use the wind spirits because it's the only mobile units to go on the objectives, which brings all of these into play to shoot them and to fight them, because they're the only things that can grab the objectives. Like, of course, they could go aggressive forward, and of course, maybe they shoot over. So it could be a pretty devastating 2 turns.
I just think that Alex needs Marathi to be on at least turn 4 in this game, because she's what's going to be able to deal with Andy's army. Because although you can kill the wind spirits, you've still got 30 sentinels, you've still got these wardens, and actually you can sit a wind spirit here, they're probably going to be out of range. You can sit a wind spirit just here and you have to shoot this one. And don't forget, they are fairly tough.
Yeah, they're pretty survivable, right?
I'm just worried now for Marathi, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I'm worried for Marathi.
Okay, all right, well, pretty interesting play, it really is. So just on table 4, and just to see how this Lumineth army is unpacked specifically, the important point to note here is that I think we've gone, Matt's gone for aggressive expansion turn 1, so it looks like we're going to see him move out. Now, this Technian build always plays in this very castle style, which is interesting to see it paired up against the Idneth Deepkin. You play a lot of Deepkin, Adam. Do you think this is a good pairing for the Deepkin, or are you...
If I was Deepkin, I'd be quite happy with this pairing.
Okay, how come?
Just because you can control it, like I was saying earlier, you control the sentinel shooting, and a lot of this output is coming from those sentinels. So the ability to be able to control it with 1 shark. So you can say, all right, you can have this shark, but all your output has to go into it, is really powerful. You've got the Ishlain Guard here, which are currently... because of the way the rules are written, when they charge, they get a +1 save characteristic, and they're unrendable. So you can sort of throw them in, sitting on a 2+ unrendable save, and you can block the castle. So you can block the castle in, and then everything else just moves up, takes the objectives, and you can start chipping damage. The shark shooting attack is also really, really good. It's 4 attacks, 3s, rend 1 damage, but it's 4 attacks each. So you're looking at, 20 attacks, shoot into Teclis. You can I wouldn't be surprised if we see Teclis go down in 2 turns.
Well, so
not from just the shooting. I'm talking about because Futhan as well. You're striking first in the 2nd turn if he's flipped the sides.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things that we've just heard is Serum White Light, which is a spell Teclis has on his War Scroll, has just been cast and has done multiple chip damage to a variety of different units. So this MSU build, but unfortunately, obviously it hasn't pinged anything. And that's
I was going to say, this is the struggle I think for Paul, is that Serum White Light. But again, it's only D3 wounds, really. Like, you can go to D6, but it's generally
and then
D3.
Even the average of that is 3.
Yeah. So I think when you're 8 wounds a shark, you can kind of take it.
Yeah, you can definitely take it for a couple of turns. It becomes an issue maybe turns 3 and 4, depending on, because you do have to play the objectives, right? You are going to have to move units here, right? And he is going to start to lose thralls.
I think it's a better mission format as well. For Paul, because he's got that mobility to be like, I'll put 1 unit here, 1 unit in, and now you have to break your castle, and this castle has to go either this way or this way.
Yeah.
So it's got to split the castle up.
So, chat, it's time for you to make a decision. Who are you rooting for, Team Scotland or Team Wales? Adam, are you?
I'm not sure, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I'm rooting for both of them as long as they beat England.
It's very true.
Is that fair?
That's fine. That seems fine.
Although, to be fair, I kind of want England to win, really. But it's just awkward, right?
Okay, wow. Okay, so a lot of bias going there from the commentary team. None
but also
me.
The Irish lads. They're just the best, aren't they?
Our first-time chatter says Team Scotland. Elmer Paper says Wales. Maybe we'll do a poll.
I think these 4 games that we're showing, I think Scotland win more of them in these 4 games. But the other 4 games, I think Wales might win more.
So there are still 4 other games happening at the event, don't forget. This is just one of 8 games that's happening between these 2 different teams. Just to kind of show you guys, you can see there's the rest of the Welsh. So there's Dan George with his Gargants playing it out.
A different Gargant list.
A different Gargant list.
Different Gargant.
Yeah, so
list.
there we see them all playing. And there's Rick playing against Mike there. So that's going to be interesting. So there's lots of other games still happening around this.
Oh, look at those two Maw Crushers. Oh, they're going to be going in a minute, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are. Just to make it easy for everyone, the blue is Scotland and red is Wales. But yeah, it's a great point, Hermanista, and I'll try and make that happen in the future. Pretty exciting event going on. There is also going to be in the future, we'll get live round updates from the different matches that are happening as well. We do have a score sheet, but we're just waiting for Google access, actually.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so that's nice. That's a nice little addition. And I see England wearing the kits I designed for them. At least they look good. Shouldn't read things out loud. Right, so priority roll for turn 2 has happened here.
Okay, and
turn
it
2
looks like
between JP Gannis for Scotland, Andy Hughes for Wales. The priority roll has gone to Andy Hughes.
Have you seen the battle tactic he's gone for?
He has gone, as you guys are going to be able to see. Oh, what has he gone for? Bring it down. Bring it down. So he achieved Conquer last turn, and now he's gone for Bring It Down, which I assume is going to be this Mega Gargant here.
And in response to that, JP has gone, I'm going to go for a best day ever.
Yeah.
So he's finest houred that Gargant, so he's on a +1 save. And then if he goes for all-out defense, he's going to be on another +1 save, so we can be ignoring basically -1 rend. 3 up, ignoring -1, which is going to be pivotal. But he has only got 11 wounds left.
He's only got 11 wounds left. I think what's really interesting here for Andy is actually getting the priority roll wasn't actually that advantageous to him. Because, yes, he can kill this guy.
Yep.
Like, that's fine. But actually, he kind of brings these Gargants on a double coming up, and they're in danger close territory. Like, they've got loads of options for what they're going to take out.
Yeah.
So, like...
Honestly, I think if JP won the priority, though, he just won the game. So, I think
really?
Andy... Yeah, because, again, you're saying about how this output comes in. It was coming in either way. Like, it was going to be coming into these salamanders who weren't screened, but now they've got a little screen. Now there's something here to block them. So there's at least now play that Andy's protected himself.
Yes.
And then, obviously, you kill this Gargant. You're going to score 2 for the battle tactic. If he scores it with the Bastillodon, so if he kills it with a Bastillodon, he's going to score an extra point, and he'll get a point for bringing a monster down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of points on the line this turn.
Yeah, a lot of points, actually. That's a really, really good point. But he's going to, like, the thing is the primary is where he's going to lose points, and he needs to score big. Yeah? Or maybe he's not trying to score big. We'll see. Like, what's interesting is, like we've said, it's taken 2 turns to kill a Mega Gargant.
Yeah.
Which means... You would hope, if everything goes his way, takes another 2 turns to kill another Mega Gargant, which means he still probably doesn't win the primary on 2.
Yeah.
We're talking about in order to you really need to kill 2 Mega Gargants before turn 3 happens.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened.
No,
that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We're not going to see another Gargant go down this turn either, because he's not going to be able to put the Bastillodon into it as well. I know that Bastillodon did nothing last turn, but the Salamander's only got one down to 11 wounds.
Oh, really?
So...
Yeah, okay. Very interesting.
It's tricky for Andy.
Very, very tricky for Andy. We'll see how this goes. We're just here on table 2. 89 shots.
How many?
Pink Horrors. 89 magical flaming shots.
Is that it?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Being fired into this line of Blood Knights. Whether or not that's going to be... See, what's interesting is Simon is taking all of the opportunities here as well. With like +1 to hit, it's going to be 4s and 4s, which isn't terrible. Because it's 90 shots. So basically, it's going to give your opponent roughly like 18 dice to save, wound dice to save, and that means like he's going to take about 9 damage, which kills 3 Blood Knights.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know if David was saying about the if he's popped his shard. Yeah. Because that's going to be given that extra ward save, I believe. So it gives him a +1 ward save.
Yes, it's a bubble of +1 ward save, so it becomes a 5-up ward save in a little bubble there. And what's interesting, because there's also the White King on Skeletal Steed. Well, he's also given a -1 to hit aura around him.
Okay.
But it's only 9 inches. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where in this little scrum he is. But the Skeletal Steed on White King on Skeletal Steed is given that -1 wound.
Yep.
and that means that once they get into combat, these guys are going to be even worse, these pink horrors, in that combat.
Yeah. This is just an awkward... I think this is just going to be a really awkward game for both players, to be honest. Because it's a case of Simon can't just block him in, whereas David may not be able to get out of where he needs to go, and he probably doesn't have the damage output. So I personally think Simon's going to just take this game just because lists.
Yeah. Can we look at Simon's dice game there? Like, he's got a cup, like the speed and pace.
Yeah.
Bottom left-hand corner for you guys, just wanted to witness the raw energy that is Simon Weekly
and it
for
still
Team Wales.
won't be enough when you've got that many horrors.
Oh, he's just working his hardest to get as many shots in as possible and do as much damage as he can. And
there we go. Save dice. That's not even a lot, is it?
No, it's not. But the thing is you do, like, Simon's going to be tired round 5, and there's something to say about this. How much is that going to impact his ability to play through to the final round? Like, this is round 1. There's 5 rounds for these teams. Like, how tired is he going to be day 2 working this? If we contrast this to JP on table 1, he sat down. He's very relaxed. He's not having to do stuff. He has just lost that Gargant.
And he probably doesn't even care. He's probably like, oh, well, I've lost 1. I've still got 3 more. And now I've already got to move 3 models. He's probably having a lovely time, to be honest. You know.
So pretty impressive that Gargant's gone down now. Yep. So it does leave him only with the 2 gate breakers.
Yeah.
So Andy scored 7 that turn. But interestingly, that's only made it 12-8. JP was able to score so heavily turn 1.
I think this is just going to be the issue. I think JP's just going to win on the primary. He's going to be scoring battle tactics every turn as well. Mm-hmm. Because you've got to remember that Andy's battle line are 10 skinks.
Yes.
So broken ranks will be easy. Conquer's going to be easy on this objective. You could do aggressive expansion to hold 1-2 objectives fairly easily. To get in Savage Spearhead later on in the game, the territories are here. So all the battle tactics for JP are nice and easy, and he's going to score the primary.
Yes, you're right. Okay, very interesting game there. Let's just go back to table 3 now and look what Andy is going to try and do against Marathi. So the Wind Spirits, look at this. This is unpacked very fast.
Yeah.
So as Andy was blocked into this corner here with Marathi kind of bearing down on the Sentinels. The Sentinels have sidestepped. They've moved over onto the side here. Then Severith is... Which one of the 3 Wind Spirits is Severith?
This one over here, I think.
So Severith has moved onto this top right objective. The other 2 Wind Spirits have moved down here, with the Lord Regent actually moving and grabbing this objective. So that everyone is like kind of unpacked. Like I talked about, he's had to go onto these objectives. Yeah. So he's put himself in kind of danger close range here. And as you can see, he's been able to tag all 3 objectives with those Wind Spirits. He's moved on here, he's moved on here, and he's moved on here. So like he's got so much play with the movement from them.
Yeah, he really does.
Because they move 36 inches effectively.
Yeah.
Which is very, very strong. And he's doing really well. Like so yeah, what do you think about this play? Do you think he's played this right? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think as long as he's doing those, as long as he's moved over Marathi to try and do his D3 mortal wounds to her, I think this is the best play that you can do, because you draw out the Bloodstalkers to make them in range of the Sentinels, and again, like you were saying earlier, the Sentinels outrange them. So as soon as Marathi's down, as long as he can get Marathi down in turn 2, I think Andy's gonna smash this game. Because those Khaine are interesting. I'm just not sure they're going to get into here. So Marathi has taken those extra 3 damage now, so she's taken those 6 this turn, which means if Andy wins the priority, you do the 3 in that turn, and then you can do the 3 in Alex's turn.
Yeah. So but then what do we think about the Wind Spirits? Like, I feel like the Wind Spirits are so pivotal for this particular match. They're going to be so key.
Yeah.
Just for you guys, just in case you're not unaware, these Wind Spirits they move 24 inches.
They do.
24 inches, so they're going to be able to, they've moved onto these objectives, you can see, but at the end of each shooting phase, your opponents, they're able to move another 12 inches in addition. So they're able to bop over units, do mortal wounds. They don't even have to engage with Marathi. You can just bop over, do those mortal wounds, which is really interesting. So actually, Marathi's got to be in a really interesting spot, because even if she wins the priority, she has to move far enough away from the Wind Spirits that they can't just pop over and do a mortal wounds.
And you're never doing that, so you've got to be 36 inches away from her.
not in your turn. Like in her turn, she'd be able to move 12 inches away.
But then if she wants to get into the Sentinels, she's then going to have to take an Unleash Hell, so she takes the 3 wounds there. So basically, wherever she goes, she's taking 3 wounds.
She is. Which is going to be...
Which is why I think it was a mistake throwing her in turn 1.
Well, because I don't think that's true. Because again, look at how this army is unpacked. His mobile units, as you can see, are all here, and that means like that at least he's got the opportunity to start.
But with so many units of Khaine life takers, you just don't engage. You just say, here's 5 life takers, here's 5 life takers, here's 5 life takers. And then when it gets to later in the game, when you can get into, once you've killed the Wind Spirits with your Bloodstalkers, then you throw Morathi in it and deal with Sentinels.
Okay. All right, yeah, no, so trade with the Canary instead of trading with... Okay, yeah.
You're trading with your Morathi instead of the Canary.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I agree. I'll allow it. Okay, fair enough.
I'm just fuming with this play. Fuming!
Well, see, what's really interesting, we've seen Alex play with his Daughters of Khaine before, and so we've seen him play on the tabletop, and I actually said that, in my opinion, Alex played one of the better Daughters of Khaine games we've seen recently. He screened with Morathi, to protect the bow snakes, but this is a different list to his bow snakes list.
Yeah.
Like, so he's gone for a lot more Canary, and maybe he's just playing a different play style for this particular match. But yeah, you're right. Interesting.
I think he's just gone into it too confident.
Yeah.
But I still think Alex. I'm not saying Alex is in a bad position. I just think it's a mistake for Morathi in. But I don't think it's a game-losing mistake.
No, yeah, we'll see how it pans out. We absolutely will. Over on table 4, let's just look how this different Teclian build, this other Lumineth list, is unpacked. So we've heard it's done the 5-inch shuffle.
Okay.
So the castle has moved up a tiny bit, just bringing those Sentinels into range and bringing those Wardens into range. Now Matt is never a particularly pacey player, but more importantly he doesn't play very aggro, or when he does, or even in the situation where we've seen him play with his Heal-On Wind Chargers, we saw him bop forward and then bop to safety.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't play aggro alpha.
Yeah.
Or we haven't seen him, or in his Lumineth style list. We know recently he's been playing Stormcast.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's been pushing them around and doing really well with those as well. But they similarly have got that long-range shooting that comes from long strikes. So I'm not surprised to see him play this more defensive castle style, that he's very, very comfortable with. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him unpack very, very slowly. We slowly see him move on to these objectives. We slowly see, and I think if he does that, he puts the Deepkin on the back foot, because they have to start engaging at some point with it.
Which is actually, I think if I was Matt, I'd be doing the opposite. I'd be playing aggressive into the Deepkin.
Oh, really?
Because they're coming into you, whether you like it or not. Well, and if you stay like this, you're now stuck in this position as the Deepkin come forward. So in turn 2, like I was saying, if he's flipped the tides, all of this Deepkin is just coming forwards, run and charge turn 1, everything's coming in. He can kill the Wardens, and then turn 2 striking first into the Sentinels or Techless.
Okay.
So actually, by not unpacking fully, I think he's leaving the Deepkin a really good opportunity just to come in and deal with him, and just take the primary.
All right. Okay. Some good gossip there. Yeah. We'll see if that pans out. We've just heard on table 3, though, talking about this Morathi game that we were just talking about. So the Daughters of Khaine played by Alex Bruce against Andy Curry's Lumineth Realm Lords. We've just heard that Andy Curry and Scotland have won a priority, so they're okay. So don't worry about that, all you Scottish fans out there. We've seen Scotland grab a priority now. They lost one of them, but they've grabbed one back.
It's not those Wales dice. Don't worry, guys.
It's not that. So Andy's grabbed the priority here, and it feels like that puts him in a very solid position, right?
Yeah. I think Andy's in a really, really solid position, because like I was saying, you do the 3 chip damage to Morathi. You can probably start dealing with this now, and then in Alex's turn, Morathi's going to die.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if he wants to come into this, which is where he wants to go, they unleash hell, kill her. So
into
her option then is to go this way, but she can't deal with this. So basically, she can't do anything now.
Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, she's dead.
She's
yeah.
essentially dead this turn.
Yeah, because of the wind spirits, and again, just for you guys, because they're able to move over. So like they're able to move over, do D3 mortal wounds. That's going to kill Morathi, and then that puts him in again. Like he's lost Morathi for no real counterplay in this position. Like I wonder what the wind spirits are going to do. I wonder if we do see the wind spirits move over into the Canary. We'll see. We'll see how Alex feels about this.
And
maybe
also,
after
don't forget
the
this is a
match.
different mission to the other missions that we're seeing. So this is First Blood. So this is the 3 objectives diagonally in the centre, so going along here, and then it's the hold 1, hold 2, hold more mission.
Yes.
So it's slightly different mission to the other ones as well, because we're playing, each team are playing 2 different missions. So it's 4 of each mission.
Yeah, so yeah, there's 8 matches, well, there's eight games in a match between these teams, and then 4 are playing 4 battle plans, and 4 are playing 4 are playing 2 battle. Oh my god, 4 players are playing a battle plan, and another 4 players are playing another battle plan.
That's still one. Well done, mate.
It's a lot. It's a lot. 8-man teams is too many, in my opinion.
Too many.
It's too many. Anyway, I missed the update there, Table Boss. Apologies about that. So this is looking like it's maybe gonna go to.
I think this is an Andy game.
Yes, this is looking very good for Scotland. Table 4, like we talked about, we're going to wait to see how Matt unpacks his Lumineth and starts doing his shooting and who he's going to shoot.
I did forget, sorry, on this table, obviously you have got Sire's Goading Arrogance. So, when I'm saying that Deep can go in. But I think you just try and shoot that character off and then go in.
Yeah.
Because, shark shooting is brilliant.
Shark shooting is really, really good. Those Alapexes have got some real good output.
Never thought I'd say it. Sharks are good.
Sharks have always been good, right? Like table 1. Let's just see how JP has been able to move forward in his first turn. Sorry, in his second turn.
Yep.
His second turn. So as you can see, he's moved his Gatebreaker up into the Salamanders right here.
Yeah, this is just going to be really rough for Andy now.
I think so. I don't disagree with you. Like I think it's not particularly good. He's losing this unit of 10 skinks in the bottom, but it's not awful because those salamanders can take quite a bit of damage. Because they've got basically ablative wounds in the skink.
Yeah, but the War Stomper can do that damage. That's why people are taking.
That's a Gatebreaker.
Yeah, Gatebreaker. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the Gatebreaker can do that damage. So I'd be interested to see, and also because they've got so many wounds, they don't mind being like unleashed hell on. So I think you obviously you're not losing this Gargant this turn. There you go, like loads of those skinks there already went, and then you've still got this Gatebreaker at the back holding this, and you've still got this one. Whereas Andy then he's going to lose this unit of skinks. He's lost some salamanders here, which means he's basically got this and this left.
Yeah, so the Prime is also on the board as well. Or we're waiting for the Prime to come down.
Oh yeah, we have still got the Prime to come down.
Prime. So the Prime hasn't been deployed. So like, there's the opportunity that he's bringing him in here, so that we've got the Prime, because the Salamander shooting in the next turn, because Salamanders are also going to get fight back. So Salamanders plus the Prime maybe gets us this, and that's on the tipping point going into 3. That's enough for him to do the work. But the problem is like every time those Gatebreakers go in, they do enough damage.
Yeah.
They don't do overwhelming amounts of damage, but they do enough. They're scary enough, and they're scary enough until you kill them all, which I think is really, really key. Over on table 2, oh boy!
I'm not sure I'm going to ever take this game seriously, to be honest. Anytime I see this list, I'm just going to laugh. Because it's just, look, pink horrors!
Look how many pink horrors I have. So, as
Skills.
you can see, Simon's first turn, he's dominated the board. He's got 10 pink horrors holding this objective. His 20 is here, and his 30 is here. And he's very comfortable with this. He's basically roadblocked. He's like, okay, you can charge me, get into me if you want. I'm not too stressed about that. I protected my backfield with some summoned blue horrors as well, which is really key.
He's also really nicely screening that front unit of the bridge.
Yes.
Which I think is quite interesting.
Yes. Do you want to talk about it? So he's basically reducing the damage output that's happening on this unit.
Yeah, so this is the unit of 30 back here, and he's using the Soul Screen Bridge to screen out the pink horrors, so not as many Blood Knights are going to be able to get in, because although you can now move through endless spells, you can't move on top of them. So that Soul Screen Bridge is actually blocking quite a lot of those Blood Knights. He's also, I think was quite a good play not to charge, because it meant that those Blood Knights couldn't jump over the top and hit the Lord of Change.
Yeah. So one of the other things that's really exciting about the Six Nations event here this weekend is we've got our man Nico from the South London Legion. There he is, looking through all of the rules, very quizzically wondering what's happening. He's our head judge for the event for the weekend. As you would expect at an event like this, there's lots of players who know what they're doing, but there's the boss himself, keeping an eye on every single player at the event, not letting anyone...
Nothing
Nothing will escape his eye. And there's our TOs at the back. They look like they're having a very comfy time. So there's Owen and Dan, our TOs for the weekend. They've organised all of the event, as you can
look
see.
at them.
They're having a great time. And if we look at the prizes available here for the winning nation. So some pretty cool
they are some
trophies.
Gorgeous trophies,
Look
aren't
at them trophies. They look really, really nice. So
yeah, Owen and Dan have done an absolutely fantastic job of organising.
They've done really well. Let's just quickly
They've made it professional.
They've made it professional. They've professionalised National Warhammer. And is that difficult to do? I wonder.
I'm going to assume so, especially when you've got certain teams coming that probably aren't taking it quite as seriously as them.
That's true. That's true. So it's great to see those guys like running the event. Very mad we didn't get shirts, but that's okay.
I was going to say, where are our shirts? Did you
look
know?
at us? Do people take us seriously? Like we are?
I got a sticker.
Look at
that was my consolation prize. A sticker.
We're in there. And we've got. Look at where we are. This
Brilliant.
is brilliant. Okay,
Brilliant.
this is fine.
And I've got a sticker, so
okay,
I'm happy.
This is fine. Okay, right. Back to our matches. So just a recap for everyone. We're in Firestorm Games, which is fantastic. By the way,
we're in Firestorm Game Shed.
Yeah, we're in the shed. We're also on the phones if anyone needs us.
We just get people to phone in.
Right, so table one, we've just heard a Skink is doing a wound on Mega Gargant. Recap how these matches have gone. JP took the first turn, scored a big 8 points.
He did.
Andy then went for Conquer on this objective, dropped down, took out a War Stomper on the double.
On the double.
On the doubles, taking him out. He is now, we're now into JP's second turn, and as we can see, he's taken out almost all of these Salamanders.
Yeah.
So that's what's happened here. Just to go on to table, is it table 4 that we just heard the win made? Yes. Yeah, table 4. We've just
big news.
Big play. So on turn 1, Matt used aggressive expansion as his battle tactic. He moved forward. He went onto these objectives, as you can see here. His sentinels at the back, along with Teclis, did some shooting and some searing white light. But in the first turn for Paul playing very aggressively, moved the Sharks up. This is a fast turn. Paul not messing about. He's moved up, and then he shot into
the Wind Mage with Goading Arrogance. And this was the exact right play, because it means in turn 2, when you go for the striking first, he's going to be able to do a lot. But unfortunately, all the shots went in, and he got it down to 1 wound. So the Goading Arrogance Wind Mage is still alive, which means if you go into combat, you're not going to be able to hit anything.
But he's alive this turn.
Exactly. So I think if Paul gets the double, I think it's going to be really good for him. Like, really good. So we've just heard that priority in this game has gone to Matt.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. So on that Lumineth versus Deepkin game, the priority has just gone to Matt.
Wow, massive.
But I think Paul's still in a good place, because although Matt can do Searing White Light, again, you look at how spread out Paul is. So that Searing White Light can hit sort of this or this, but it's not going to hit everything, and it's only 3 mortal wounds to a unit, and those sharks are on 8 wounds apiece.
Yes, you're right. Like, and then because of stop calling, chat. Yeah, we don't need you to call in with your opinions. We've got this. If you want to tell us what your thoughts are, you write them in the chat. Okay, that's pretty important. I was going to say that the
you've got no idea, have you?
Till someone answers the phone, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. Goading Arrogance only works against heroes, yes. So the Sharks could go in, yeah, agreed. What I was going to say is because of the allegiance ability for Idnet Deepkin, right, they're only going to be able to target the front unit. So that brick of... So it's quite interesting, actually, because Matt is the only person who hasn't taken... He's taken 30 Sentinels.
He has.
But he's taken a 20 and a 10.
Yep. Which I actually think is better in some ways, but worse in others, because it's better that you can position them in different places, but it's worse for Unleash Hell.
Yeah.
Because you don't get as many shots.
Yeah. So that's pretty wild. Big shout out to MJ Pegasus in the chat, who's helped us look at these. Has helped us create some of our War Scroll cards. So when we do look at Lumineth and we do look at those Sentinels and that 30-inch bow range, one attack. Now
it looks pretty bad, right?
It doesn't look good.
It's not a good profile.
Shot, 4s and 4s.
So what makes it good?
Well, what makes it good is there's some metal weapons that you can see here, right? Yep. So that means that you can do, instead of doing, you can do mortal wounds on 5s. Because they're a wizard, amazingly.
They're a wizard?
So they do mortal wounds on 6s, but because they're a wizard, they're able to make the some metal weapons with the spell a 5 up.
Okay.
And then it's a many-stringed weapon, as you can see, 3 bows.
Obviously.
So that means that they're able to have 2 different shots, specifically one to shoot long range.
Okay.
Right? So they do that. So that's
what else have they got that makes them good in shooting?
Well, importantly, they've got the Scryhawk Lantern. Yeah?
Okay, and what does that do?
Well, interestingly, the Scryhawk Lantern is a special lantern carried by the High Sentinel.
Okay.
And what it does is it creates a special light that hawks fall in love with. Then the Sentinels become best friends with the hawks.
Okay.
This is all true, yeah?
Okay.
Right, they become best friends with the hawks, and then the hawks fly over to enemy units, and they say, hey, shoot these guys. So even if you can't see them...
How do the Hawks know which ones to shoot, though?
Because they're best friends with the elves.
Okay, I see, right.
Because they're best friends with the elves. So because of the Scryhawk Lantern, you're able to shoot because there's loads of hawks. So the thing that we don't see on the screen right now is above these sharks that are flying in a sea that they've brought with them. So there's currently a sea that they're flying through.
Okay.
Flying in the sea.
Into the sea.
Are some hawks.
Okay.
And those hawks are telling the elves how to better shoot their metal weapons. But there's no ducks.
Okay.
But this is all the truth.
But what if you're playing in, like, the Realm of Fire or something, and it's a volcano? Do we still have the birds?
It's a lot you're asking me.
Like, is this too complicated now?
There's a lot happening. But it's very cool. It's very cool.
Is it, though?
Think about that. Like, you're looking at a sea, you're an archer, you're looking at a sea, and then all of a sudden there's a hawk.
I feel like I'm back in Plymouth.
But you're on a shark? Like, it's very animal. It's very great. Anyway, my point is the fact he's got a 20 and a 10 means that he's got the options to shoot loads of different units.
Yep.
Which is great.
But he doesn't because of Forgotten Nightmares.
So you can only target the closest unit, but that means that like he could maybe use the 20 to shoot off the closest unit and start using the 10 to hit into another unit, right? So I feel like I'm right there on the battlefield. That's what I wanted, chat. Thanks. Right. Big news. Yeah, big news, Table 1. Priority into Turn 3. If you fans of Team Scotland, you're going to be gutted because Team Wales and Andy Hughes have won the priority role going into Turn 3.
And look how much JP cares.
JP doesn't care very. Like, he just sat down. But the important point here is that in the previous turn, JP was able to take out 2 whole salamanders out of this brick.
Yeah.
Which is pretty important.
Taking a lot of output.
Yeah. So I mean, there are still 4 salamanders available and the Pastillodon, and we still haven't had the Prime come down.
And summoning. JP decided not to burn any of the objectives. Right? So because he went second in turn 3 because of tectonic. So basically in turn 3, the plates of the earth move so aggressively that you're able to delete an objective. Not quite sure how that works. But I wasn't sure I was into you studying up on all this lore, but hearing it, I'm loving life.
I told you it was going to make it more fun. Like it's anyway,
but right. I think so. He could only burn this objective or this objective because this objective here and this objective here, they're both primary objectives. So you can't burn any of the home objectives because they're primaries. But the 2 middle ones are burnable. And I think it was the right choice not to because it means that you can just say, right, I'm just going to stay on this objective and I'll stay on this objective here, and then almost not bother with the home objectives and just win out on the primary, scoring 5 points a turn. Yeah.
I think that primary is going to be really good for him. I mean, there's a lot of salamanders here that he can bring now. And if the Prime does come down, the Prime's going to be able to do some pretty decent work.
I think the Prime comes down up here.
Oh, really? Like, you just got to delete this. I assume that that's a gate breaker.
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose. But turn 3, you're getting an extra 9 attacks.
Yeah.
No, you're on 9 attacks or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of output from there. So I think he's got 27 damage worth of output there. Plus his D3 mortal wounds that you can use. He's got 30 damage on his own.
He's also on a 3-up base save. So actually, when the War Stomper goes in, he can be like, cool, finest day ever, because he's a character.
Yep.
Be on a 2-up armor save, right? Okay, so we're just hearing on table 4. Is that table 4 that we're hearing this from?
This is this one.
The priority roll went to Matt going into turn 2. And we just heard Searing White Light has done 24 mortal wounds. It went off. 24 mortal wounds in
AoE.
In AoE. So basically it's a spell portal. What you do is you cast a spell. You do it through a spell portal. It's only got an 18-inch range. So normally it would be from Teclis and it would be kind of in that aura.
Yeah.
But because he's done it through the spell portal, it's done it in this massive aura here, which means he's hit every unit, and like we say, he's done 24 mortal wounds.
Can we just all agree at this point that spell portal's bad for the game?
It's very bad for the game. We all agree with that. We all agree with that. It's the no flair play. But at Six Nations, you're going to be doing it. You're going to be using it as much as possible. And as you can see, he's done a bunch of damage. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these sharks start to fall by the wayside. So sharks are great. They're 8 wounds each, but they're 125 points for 1.
Yep.
Yeah, which is pretty comparable wounds per points to a lot of units you find around that mark. You know, like some units are cheaper if they're more chaffy. If you're talking about things like Untamed Beasts, they're around 80, 85 points. But if you're talking about Sentinels, for instance, they're 150.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, they're at a nice place, but they're a shooting unit and they're a combat unit, which is good. But the 5 sharks he's got on the board represent over a quarter of his army. So having them go down is actually pretty significant, especially when there's some big target pieces like the Leviathan that he wants to hit. And I do worry about I honestly don't think Paul has the output to get into those castles.
So after this turn of the 24 mortal wounds, I think the tables have turned quite a lot. Because it just means that now all of these are probably on, all the sharks are probably on 2-3 wounds left. And as soon as you throw one in, it's just like, oh, I'm dead to shooting. Oh, now I'm dead. Oh, no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I think it'll still be interesting, though, to see Paul's turn 2.
Also, one of the interesting things about Wardens, because he obviously has got some Wardens as his front line, as his screen, if you will. We've seen some Wardens survive the most amazing stuff. We've seen them survive, like, Stonehorn charges and Kragnos charges and Archeon charges, all of those on the screen. But some of the things I didn't even know about Wardens, just to talk about them, when you charge them, they get +1 to wound and +1 rend. But the important thing is I don't know if you know this, they've got the Moonfire Flask.
Yeah, so it's a 2+ D3 mortal wounds?
2+. So if you charge them, they fire their Moonfire Flask, and it's just D3 mortal wounds, which actually, when you've got quite an elite amount of wounds like you see in the sharks, normally you go, right, I'm charging you, I've only got a couple of wounds left, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's just going to be an additional D3 wounds, not including stand-and shoots that we're going to get from the Sentinels.
It's brilliant.
Like, so I actually think Paul's in a really tough spot against Matt here.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really do. I don't think that's going to go his way. Talking about things that aren't going someone's way, Table 3. Table 3, we've just heard Morathi has moved forward, and the Sentinels, Morathi moved forward in Alex's turn. So Andy's had turn 1 and he's had his turn 2. Alex is in his turn 2 now with Morathi on 9 wounds, but was going to try and maybe charge these Sentinels. We saw him move over. However, a redeploy has come from Alex.
Okay.
From Andy. So a redeploy has come from Andy, and he rolled the big 6. And I find that quite interesting because is Morathi on
She's
9
got 3 wounds left.
She's got 3 wounds left. So why wouldn't you use the CP?
So but the issue is you just throw 5 Khaine in to start with, so then they have to unleash hell there.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So, and as you can see, those Canary are coming down right now. So those Canary are landing on that objective. So he's brought down, I think he's brought 2 units of 5 down.
Yeah, it looks
potentially, like 9 inches away. And 3 units. So we've heard his 3 units. And look at how the rest of the board is. So you've got the Lord Regent over here. You've got both of these 2 wind spirits here on the objective, and then you've got the bow snakes all here. So actually, and then the other Canary here. So actually, as bad as it is that Alex is maybe going to lose Morathi, he's pinned the enemy army in quite nicely. We haven't seen the shooting phase yet, so we could see those bow snakes take off. one of the wind spirits,
Yep.
maybe two of the wind spirits. Who knows how it goes? And then we've got.
I think this turn looks worse than it actually is for Andy.
Right.
Because the Khaine are not good. Okay, so they just look impressive. So you've got all this board space. It's like, yeah, look how much board space I've got. Andy can probably kill that in a...
I think they're pretty good on the charge, though.
So this is what I mean. So they're good on the charge, so they
Right.
get an extra rend and they get an extra damage. So they're rend 1, damage 2 on the charge.
Mhm.
Okay. But when you've got, all-out defense, you've got the Aether Quartz, they probably won't be doing a lot. They're only 2 attacks each. So, they're 10 attacks for a unit, but when they're not on the charge, they don't do a lot in combat. They also are only on a 6-up save.
Uh-huh.
But when they have 4 in combat, on a 4+, they can make a 6-inch move away.
Yes.
But I think Andy would be okay with that, because then it just means he gets to shoot them. So, next turn, if we go into Andy's turn, you kill Morathi, you can kill a lot of these Khaine, and then almost leave just that. So I think it probably looks more impressive than it is.
Yeah.
And I think Andy should actually still be feeling fairly confident here.
Yeah, I feel Andy should be feeling...
Because he's still got all his army. He's still got the Regent here, he's got a Wind Spirit here, he's got a Wind Spirit up here, and another Wind Spirit up here.
I don't know, though. I don't know if, because we've got the priority roll coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they...
I think if Alex wins the priority, it's in a lot better position than he is currently. But if Andy then gets the priority, I think he's just going to absolutely ruin Alex here.
Interesting. I'm quite excited to see how the shooting phase and the charge and combat phase for this particular game goes. I really am. Sorry, say that again, please, Table Boss. Wolf. Oh, okay. So we've already lost a Wind Spirit. One Wind Spirit is already down in this match, and we've still got more. Look at those 6s, those Team Well dice showing. So we've also got more shooting to come in, so we could lose another Fox.
Wow.
Now, don't forget that
that would be big.
Yeah, they've got a 5-up ward save, specifically because they carry sand around with them. They're so fast that they have heated sand traveling in a cyclone around them that stops incoming projectiles from hurting them.
I never knew how stupid the law was.
It's the story, man. They're covered in...
Who thinks of this?
So they're wind spirits, and they move so fast that heated sand cycles around them, blocking incoming damage that gives them a ward save. In addition...
Why does it give them a ward save?
In addition, the heated sand makes it so that if you're within 3 inches of them, you can't pile in because of the heated sand. That's the story. Okay? We're a narrative channel. Right?
I don't understand.
That's how it works. I don't know. Everyone's mad at me, but that's the situation. It's good. Swords can't penetrate sand. Come on, Jesus.
But it's sand.
It's hot sand.
So
Hot sand becomes glass. I don't know. But anyway, the point is that bow snakes, and also those are Heartseeker shots.
Okay.
So bow snakes,
so they can penetrate the sand
because they're seeking hearts. Exactly.
I see.
It all makes sense, right?
Now we've got it.
Right. So they're firing those lovely shots. But most importantly, these bow snakes. In fact, let's just talk about it.
Let's just go for it.
Let's just go for it. There you go, boys. So
I love how it's the only war scroll you've done for talk.
there you are. 2 attacks each, 3s and 3s. They rend 1.
Yep.
Right, so rend 1 and then damage 1. But it's the 2 shots each. So those 20 bow snakes that we see, or the Bloodstalkers, sorry, the 20 Bloodstalkers that we have, they've got, they do 40 shots.
They do.
40 shots. So that's a lot. So I'm not surprised. The amount of output that we've seen there.
Yeah.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do it. Maybe it's the only time we're going to get to see it this weekend. It's prime time. That's right. The Celestin Prime.
And look where he's gone.
Why is he there?
Who was right?
Why is he there? That's the question. So the shooting phase is over. We heard that the Bastillodon again shot into the Gargant and did not bring the Gargant down.
I don't think that Bastillodon's having a very nice day today.
It's not having a great day. But the Prime has gone in. And it's interesting. We'll find out from our table boss how many wounds the Salamanders did, because I assume that they also shot into the Gargant at the back.
Unless 12-inch range, right?
Yeah, you. Oh, so they actually shot the one in the front and brought it down to. and brought it down to 19 wounds.
Maybe Andy's just going for like splash damage to try and kill 2 next turn.
Potentially, I guess like that. 19 wounds isn't bad. Like if you charge and you all out, like if you do a stand and shoot, you can do some like like I guess there's a certain point where you think, okay, I've brought them down to 10 wounds. A stand and shoot means they're probably not going to go after me. So maybe, maybe. But I'm not really sure. It's actually because of the It Burns ability. So salamanders shoot streaming fire out of their mouth. Streaming fire. Some people may not know that. It's not quite as corrosive as dragon breath.
Okay. Can it get through hot sand?
We'll find out in another match.
Okay.
We'll find out in another match. Now, over on table 3. Oh, no, not table 3. Sorry. Table 2. Sorry. We've seen all of the pink... We've seen all of the pink horrors have gone through.
Lies. There's one here.
Okay.
There's one there.
Okay.
There's one there. And there's one there.
Some of the pink horrors.
There we go. Most. But you've also got to remember that one pink horror is still 5 wounds.
Yes. So there are 7 pink horrors left, which means we haven't even. So that means we only saw 23 damage done to that unit. And again, very clever play here.
Yeah.
Very, very clever play here, holding that objective. Using the bridge, like you said, to just stop how much output was going to go into that unit. So reducing a lot of that there.
Have we seen that Simon's going to win the turn? Because it would be quite interesting to see if he actually dispels the bridge, so then he can bring more of his stuff in.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the bridge is gone now, right? So, like, I think he already dispelled it in his own turn. But as you can see, we also lost this unit of pink horrors up here. Not lost the unit, but the pinks are gone and the pinks are gone. So, actually, output-wise, is genuinely very impressive.
Yeah.
Coming from the Castelli list.
But we said on the charge they're going to be good. It's now's the issue.
Yes, absolutely. And how much they're pinned in as well. There's a lot of board space. But it's only, that was the end of turn 1. We've now gone into turn 2. We've just heard the priority rolls happened. And if you're fans of Scotland, you're going to be sad because Wales have won the priority going into turn 2.
Okay.
So, you're not going to see them move. What's quite nice is this turn is going to be it's not going to be
It's going to be an average turn.
It's going to be,
just because, the nature of the list. But not a lot's going to happen in that time.
Not a lot is going to happen. We're
going to come back to the table, and you'll see maybe one Blood Knight's died, even though Simon's rolled 1,000 dice.
Yep.
Because those Blood Knights are on a 3-up base save.
Blood Knights are on a 3-up base save, yes.
So easily on a 2-up save. They're -1 hits, that 9-inch bubble.
-1 to wound.
-1 to wound. But this whole game is just a slap fest of, I'm going to try and hit you and do not a lot. You're going to hit me and do not a lot. And it's basically whoever got on the objective first, and that was Simon.
Yes, absolutely. So, Table 1. Big news from Table 1. The Prime has smashed the Gargant.
Called it.
Look at that. Normally that's not you don't normally call it.
Called it.
But you've called it. There we go. The Prime.
First time for everything.
It's prime time. Has happened. It's kicked off, and that's huge for JP, right?
That's massive.
That's massive. Absolutely huge for Andy, and massive for JP. That's a big swing in that particular match because now JP's under the gun. This is only 19 wounds
if you
left.
can kill a Gargant like that, now all you have to do is go, right, I smash into this Gargant over here with the Salamanders, and then the Prime comes over here and smashes this Gargant. This could be over next turn.
This is we're still waiting for the priority going into 4, I think, because or is that priority from 4? We'll just find out from our tables. Oh, Andy scored 10 points.
Wow.
That's like
because he gets the 4 for that home objective now.
Well, let's just because this is his turn 3, right?
Yeah.
This was his turn 3. So he does hold that back objective as well. But big 10 points, as you can see, he wasn't able to hold many in the first turn. But that's pretty important for him.
It is. I think it's going to be interesting because the thing is, JP can now go, like you see him moving. Yeah, he moves forwards. And he's going to be going for that home objective now. But I worry about where the Prime is now because obviously he needs to be coming down here, and he's not that fast. So he's going to have to go for this Gargant, which you don't want him going for that because he's already on 19. You want him at this Gargant because that's what in the army now that kills a Gargant in a turn.
Yes.
But you kill this Gargant, and then JP's got one model left, and he can only hold one objective, and all you do is hold the other 3, and you're scoring more points.
And it's also not going to help him achieve battle tactics either.
Exactly.
Like, that's also going to be his issue ultimately. So actually, real interesting. Wales looking like that was a good pairing into the Gargants.
So, yeah.
And also, people at home, like, how do I deal with Mega Gargants?
By Seraphon.
One more time. It's prime time.
Oh, sorry. Prime time, not Seraphon.
Prime time.
It's nothing to do with Seraphon.
I mean, that helps.
Does that help?
That helps.
Okay, so buy Salamanders and a Prime.
Yeah, done.
Mint.
Done. I mean, that's a fun list.
Is it?
It's fun for you. Table 2, we've talked about that.
This is also a fun.
This is turn
list.
2. Turn 2. And Tzeentch have got the turn.
I love the contrast between this game and the Gargant game.
Yeah, there's a lot of models in both of these two games. This is very fun. Table 3, Andy versus Alex. So we heard that Alex got none of the charges going into the Sentinels at the back of the board.
Rough.
On turn 3. On turn 2. On turn 2.
Yep.
But he's won the priority into turn 3, and this is, I would say, pretty great for, or not pretty great. This is phenomenal for him.
Yeah.
The Wind Spirits that's almost dead. Yeah, he can have as much hot sand as he wants, but it's unlikely to live. Then we've got all of the Khaine going in to protect Morathi, so any of them can charge, go in to the Sentinels. The Sentinels then have to overwatch, or they have to all out unleash hell, into the Khaine, which means Morathi gets to go in, which means we lose the Sentinels, meaning probably we lose the Wind Spirit this turn.
Yep.
We lose the Sentinels this turn, leaving Andy with Severith.
Yeah.
And the region, and not a lot of board space.
No. Yeah, I think Alex turned this game around.
This is fantastic.
With a little bit of luck and a little bit of play. I think he's turned it around. I think he's going to take this game now.
I think this is huge. This is huge. Is it because of the Khaine? Is it because of the DOK play? Was I right? Who knows?
No.
I mean, I told you. He has to bring the Wind Spirits on, right? So, then you're able to get at them.
But the Morathi move was a mistake.
Well, I mean, it looks like he's winning, so...
But he got out of that because, it's Morathi, and she goes, don't worry, I only take 3.
Chat. You decide, chat, who you think was right. That's the real question. Table 4. Boom. Paul. Yeah.
Here we go.
So Paul has started to move after the first turn. After the first 2 turns from Matt, where we saw Syrian White Light in the second turn do some pretty amazing damage.
Yeah.
Going into all of the sharks there. So as you can see, we've still got the Leviathan on the board. We've still got the aspect of the Storm.
Yeah, we do.
Which is a monstrous character, but not an actual monster. So he's like a hero, and he does loads of combat. He's the combat-y aspect.
With an 18-inch aura of +1 wound.
Mm-hmm. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Alapexes still on the board.
Don't count this shark.
Why?
That's Matt Shark.
Oh, okay, sorry, no. 1, 2, 3 Alapexes left right now, going into these Wardens and also the Sentinels. Oh, one of my favourite things to ever hear from our table bosses, thanks table boss. Severith on table 3 has been murdered. They sought the heart of Severith.
Through the sand?
Through the burning sand.
Yep.
And Severith is dead. Gone. Which is actually pretty impressive, because if you look at Severith's War Scroll for a moment, he's got a 5-up ward on those 10 wounds.
He does.
So it's pretty good. But maybe it's the base armor save that's the issue. Because they've got Rend 1, so...
Yeah.
Maybe it's the mortals, but ultimately, you would have had to have done 15 wounds just to take him off the board. But over the course of 2 turns, you could do that.
Easy peasy.
And he's done. He's out. Those Heartseekers really proving that they can do the job. Andy's not going to be happy about this, because I think if priority for this turn had gone the other way, he was in a great place.
This was the game-winning priority.
Yeah, this is the game-winning priority. So I don't think Andy should feel too hard done by this particular matchup, personally.
No. I think Alex should count his blessings.
Yeah. Alex going to be walking away from this being like...
I played amazingly.
I told you this list was good, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, he has been, thank you, Adias Knight, he's been Severith from the Mortal Coil. It's very good. It's a very good joke that I very much enjoy, which has been really good. Right, I want to go back to this game because I don't think we paid this enough attention. So,
what do you mean? They moved forwards.
Well, Paul has moved forward. We're going to quickly find out what Paul has elected to shoot at. Has the Wind Mage, which was in the Shrine Luminor, which is up here, has the Wind Mage actually died from the shooting that we've got from the Alapexes? That's the interesting point. Alapexes, by the way, well, I think we've just heard that's true. I'll just get an update from
Alapexes are brilliant. Obviously, they got the 4 attacks shooting, and they're really good in combat. I'm disappointed with how Paul just didn't go completely aggro turn 1. And I think that was his the issue where he's going to struggle now, because he let Searing White Light go off for 2 turns without doing anything. I think Paul's now in a bad position because of that. If he had just gone aggro turn 1, aggro in turn 2, I think he would have blocked Matt in. Yes, he might not have been able to do like good combat in the first turn, but I just struggle that he's not, because he played so defensively with the Deepkin in that turn 1. He lets Searing White Light go off twice. Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah, I think. So we've just. So I think ultimately, so Matt went first.
Yeah.
Did Searing White Light. I think then Paul. Where was Paul even going to move? Like, where?
I think you just ran at him. You just go at him, because then you block in the castle.
Okay. So very clever little play here. So the Eidolon has charged into these Wardens, but he's got the Cloud of Midnight.
He does.
Right, which is an artifact for the Deepkin.
Yeah.
And what that does is it allows you to once per phase and once per battle, also once per battle in a phase, not allow your opponent to target you. So effectively, that's blocked all of this Unleash Hell coming in from the Sentinels.
But that's why I think if you did this turn 1, you would have stopped all the Sentinel shooting and still been in there and blocking that whole army.
Yeah, okay.
And you wouldn't have you still would have been hit by Searing White Light, but at least you'd be where you want to be already doing the damage.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So we've also seen this Alapex go into this unit of Wardens. We'll see how that does for him. And we've also seen 2 other Alapexes go into that central unit of Wardens. So those Wardens are fantastic. It looks like they've got some metal weapons up.
Yeah.
Sharks have got a pretty good combat profile.
It's a brilliant profile. So they've got 3 attacks each. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, but 2s because of the Eidolon. Rend 2 damage. But if the Wardens have taken a wound, they'll get an extra attack on that ferocious bite. And then they've also got the hooks and barbs, which is 6 attacks, 3s, no rend, 1 damage.
Yeah, so
I've played a lot of sharks.
Yeah. So we'll see how this combat resolves. We've just got some other updates coming from other tables. Table 1, we saw the Gargants go into the Salamanders over here and attack in there, and we've seen the other Gargant go up into the Skink Priest and the Slan at the back of the board, trying to keep them in the game.
I actually still think this is a fairly even game.
I guess so.
JP will go up on points here.
He will.
So he's going to go up on points here. And because he's still holding this objective, don't forget. So he's getting 2 from that. He's going to get 4 from this objective. And he's going to get 2 from this objective. So he's going to get 8 points plus the 2 for a battle tactic. So he's going to go up 10 points, which is going to be 24-22. And then if he kills these Salamanders and... so if he kills the Salamanders, the only thing that's able to kill the Gargants is the Prime. And the Prime's all the way at the back. And the Prime needs to come down here to take this objective, and he also needs to sort of deal with this over here.
I think the key play, though, is potentially the Slan teleport, drop a summon.
Slan's going to be dead, though, right?
Maybe.
This War Summon's going to kill the Slan.
Okay, maybe. I think this is a gatebreaker as well, so we could see the Slan go down. We hope not, because we love us. Oh no, actually, this can't be the Slan, because the Slan will be in the Realm Shaper.
No,
the Saurus
because he
here.
teleported the Slan.
Oh, that's the Star Priest.
Oh, is that Star Priest? Is it?
Is that the Star Priest engaged with the Mega Gargant? We'll just get an update from our table.
So I won't be surprised if it is a Slan.
It's the Skink.
Okay.
It's the Skink. It's the Star.
Has
it's
he
the
got
Star
the dagger?
The Starseer. Has he got the gods?
I mean, it doesn't matter, but
doesn't
like,
kill him. No, that would be cool. Though.
It would be funny, right?
That would be very
go,
cool.
Ha!
Table 2. This is a game that will look no different for another 2 hours, basically.
Yeah.
But it's all about how many pinks die and how many blues die for grabbing these objectives. As you can see...
but I seem to be noticing less and less Blood Knights as we come back. But more and more horrors.
It's true. It's very true. I mean, don't forget Simon's also got some pretty potent output from his army as well.
Yeah. Like, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's very good. So table 3, we did see Marathi go into the Sentinels here, and as you can see, they've started to die pretty aggressively in this particular setup, and then we've still got the life takers to go in as well, and they're not going to do bad. I think he's going to get like maybe 7 or 8 attacks, which, as we've talked about, is on the chart.
Look at all those 6s.
Rend 1, damage 2. Yeah, that's a lot of 6s from those Welsh dice. Oh, a fist bump. I think maybe they've called it in that particular matchup. Or
I think you saw the 6s and were
or
like,
maybe
yeah,
Andy's
good job,
just
buddy.
maybe it's just that Andy's a legend and he congratulates his opponent. I reckon he is. He's Scottish. I got to tell you, secretly, really rooting for the Scots to win.
Right, you've told me like 5 different teams this morning. So who's like, secretly I'm hoping for this team. But deep down I'm hoping for this team. But in my heart, I think this team. So like, you can only have one.
I can't. I choose 5 teams. I'm choosing 5 teams to win.
Oh, you're not rooting for one of them.
Does it? But like anyway, Andy seems like a legend. And
I'm rooting for Team Sealand.
And again, Rend 1, damage 2, going into the Sentinels. Now, not all the Sentinels are dead. That's pretty important to point out.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
This game.
Alex has turned this game around fantastically. Thanks, Owen, by the way, for subscribing as you're here at the event. And also thanks, everyone, for tuning in live. If you would like to subscribe to the Tsports Network, you can do. That would be very sweet of you. Thanks so much. We've got 4 more rounds here at Firestorm Games.
Firestorm Games.
Firestorm Games
not Element
in
Games.
Wales. We're in Cardiff, the capital of Cardiff. The Six Nations.
Of Cardiff.
The capital of Wales.
That's the one.
The Six Nations event moves around every year, so next year it may be in a different country. Could be in Scotland, could be in Sweden, could be in either of the 2 Irish countries. So it'll be really fun to see if any of them.
And we're in a shed.
If anyone would like, we're just doing some terrain as we do the coverage. We've got lots to do for the Tsports Network Super Series qualifier, which if you guys haven't paid attention to, next February, if you like the Super Series, you guys will be able to get a 4-man team together, or 4-person team, sorry, and you'll be able to enter into the qualifiers.
I'm playing.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Maybe.
It's going to be really fun. Right, so table 1, we talked about the Gargants. Table 2, Blood Knights die, horrors die, someone wins.
Back more.
Yeah. Table 3. This is the game that we've talked about. Looked like it's going really well for Alex, and Andy's on a tough spot here. And then table 4. We're waiting to see how this damage does. Look, the Alapex that went in here is dead.
Yeah, it was always going to die, but it's killed a lot of Wardens in the process.
It's killed 4
Or if they just piled
Wardens.
in. It looked like more.
It's killed 4.
Yeah.
It's killed 4.
I don't know why you didn't just throw the Alapex into this as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because you've got the other two Alapexes here. But don't forget, something we all tend to forget a lot, is actually after his first activation, then Lumineths get to activate 2 units. So, like, here, I think he's going to activate these. Oh, wait, is it round 3?
It's round 2. So it's Futhan round 2. So
he's flipped the tide.
Which is why I'm saying, go aggro turn 1.
Okay, so turn 2. I mean, he's got most of it in, but he hasn't got the Leviathan.
He hasn't got the Leviathan. He could have had all the sharks going in. Like, when he had them all alive, he could have had the thralls there.
So, again, just to explain for everyone at home, what happens is on turn 3, there's a tide. So, basically, the wave... so when Idoneth Deepkin come ashore, they bring a sea with them, and that sea gets stronger and thicker and more wetter as time goes on. And in turn 3, normally is when it's at its wettest.
It's highest
It's
tide.
highest, yeah, the moistest tide. And on turn 3, every unit in your army gets to strike before any other combats.
Because again, narratively makes sense.
Because narratively makes sense. However, if you have a tide caster, someone who's able to interpret the moistness, you're able to flip it to turn 2, and then on turn 2, what you can do is everyone strikes first. So in this situation, the Alapex get to fight first, the Eidolon in combat is going to get to fight first, and then also the Alapexes. So actually, Matt could lose quite a lot of his Wardens in this first turn. Yeah. And then we've got the priority roll coming up, so it could be bad.
It should have done it turn 1.
Okay, all right, yeah, I'm very convinced it should have happened in turn 1.
I'm so mad.
I can
so
tell.
Mad.
I can tell.
Seething is the word.
Raging.
Seething.
Raging. So we will try and find out what's happening at the rest of the event sometime soon. we have requested access. Maybe we can tell you what's happened.
Oh, so what is happening at the rest of the event?
So far, no results are in. No results are in so far.
Competitive players always play fast.
So we're waiting to find out if there are any scores in at the moment, but it seems there are no scores. And you guys should be able to see this document in the chat if you guys would like to look at it.
Just don't edit it because that would be awkward.
Don't edit it. I don't think it's got permissions to be edited. So there we go. So pretty exciting. No results in of yet. So Sweden, to catch you guys up, Sweden are playing against England.
They are.
Which is England, the hot favourites to win the event. So Sweden looking to bring them down. When you play around, let's talk about the Matrix a little second, just for you guys to see. So you play a match. You're playing your you're playing your game versus. You're playing your game versus. You're playing your game versus your opponent. Whatever you score goes into a team pool. And of course you're going to want to score 20 points. Of course you want to score 20 points. But you might not. You might only score 15. Or you might only score 5. But there's what's called a capped round score. So as the teams put your scores in, if 8 players were able to score 20 points, that would be an 80-point match. So what the TOs have done and what the event have done, they made it so that the scores are capped, so that no team can get more than 60 points per round. And that means you're not going to be able to just run away with it rounds 1, 2, and 3, basically. It also means if you get an easier matchup, let's say you're playing one of the teams and maybe they haven't brought their A game, and it means that you don't just get an easy 80 points, which maybe takes you across for the title. So I know it's a lot of math, really, to understand. Hey, Perstek, big love to you. Thanks for tuning in. So, that's... I know it's a lot, but we'll keep you guys updated as points go on. Okay, over on table 3, Marathi is dead. Andy did choose Bring It Down to take Marathi out. Marathi is down, so not only to Bring It Down, which is a battle tactic that you... battle tactics. Bring It Down is to slay a monster, basically. Kill a monster. But if you do it with your own monster, you gain additional VP. But unfortunately, Andy doesn't have any monsters, so he wouldn't have scored an additional VP for that. And as you can see, he's also made some pretty light work of these life takers, quick work, of these life takers. But the bow snakes still available here. These Melisai, these snake-bodied women carrying bows. Still got lots of output available here with the priority roll coming up. But look at these life takers. These wind spirits do some phenomenal work. The Lord Regent's gone in as well into combat. And he's going to lift a lot of Alex's very fragile army off the board. And actually, if he gets the priority roll, he's not in a bad spot. Like, he really isn't. Like, the output coming back is so impressive. Yeah, like, it's really, really good. So, Marathi going down finally for this match. Not surprised, especially after that early aggro play. But going into the priority roll, it really, because the priority roll back, I think Andy can take most of Alex's army off. So
you still think this is an even game?
I mean, score's pretty even, 10-13.
Okay.
And with a priority roll coming up, I think he's not in a bad spot.
So I just found out a quick update from all the other 4 games.
Okay, excellent.
So you've got the Wales Deepkin list played by Chris. Against the other horror list from Scotland, and it actually looks like it's a fairly even game at the moment.
Okay.
Which is surprising, but I don't know how it's going to go over 5 turns. So that one looks fairly even. Dan George with his Gargants playing the Scottish... I can't remember his name, but they've just won a game. So Wales are up 1 game so far.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was playing against the... I can't remember. But he was playing against something. And then you've got Greg with the Castello stuff, and he's looking very strong in his game. So Wales are looking strong in that game.
Who's he paired into?
He is paired into the Seraphon, which is run by it's run by John Bayliss.
Okay.
So he's looking fairly strong in that game. And then the final game with Rick versus I think not Andy. Oh, no. Who was it again? Lee, I think, with the daughters Khaine. He's looking very strong in that game as well. So that one's looking fairly even. So Wales actually looking very strong in this match.
Okay.
Overall.
All right, that's good.
And they've already got 1 win, so that's going to go around the team now.
Yeah, well,
bring confidence
Welsh
up, right?
actually, so pundits, so I've been speaking to a lot of the pundits out there in the field.
Okay.
A lot of pundits, me and the other pundits get together at the pub every Monday to talk about the punditry. And we have decided that Wales and Northern Ireland are the 2 contenders to take out the event if it isn't England.
Okay.
So second favourite at the bookies. As last time I looked at the bookies, it was Wales were odds on to odds on. I reckon. Yeah.
Nice.
Even spread. They were odds on to take out the event. But Northern Ireland also got a great opportunity there. We've just heard about the priority in this particular match, though. We were hoping Andy would win the priority, bring one back.
Has he?
He has not. It's pretty sad.
No.
Alex has won the priority here, and that means he's going to be able to bring a lot of this. I mean, look, he doesn't have loads. He's got basically the bow snakes. He's got no canary left, yeah, and then he's still up against a Wind Spirit, a Lord Regent, and the Sentinels. Like, what do you choose? Do you just finish off the Sentinels? Do you go after the Wind Spirit? The Wind Spirit causes you some nightmares.
I wonder if because I wouldn't be. Yeah, I think you have to go. The thing is, you have to go for the Sentinels because if you don't go for the Sentinels, they're going to rally back.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them rally now.
Yes, of course.
And then if you don't kill enough of them, they're going to rally again, and those Sentinels can deal with a lot of these bow snakes.
There's also an Emerald Life Swarm here as well, so that's going to heal D3 into that unit as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get nearly 30 back.
Yeah.
And then they can do the output into the snakes, and it is tight. I did say about those Canary, though, they just die to a stiff breeze.
Yeah, they fell apart. Like, his whole army just fell apart.
It looks impressive, right?
Yeah.
So, like, in that turn, it was looking really impressive. But as soon as, obviously, Andy got a turn, it just falls to pieces. And I think that's the issue of the list.
Talking about falling to pieces, we've lost every pink horror now.
Every single one.
Every pink horror has been lost. And as you can see...
it's like a terrible Where's Wally?
Yeah. No pinks. No pinks available. So as you can see, it also David has also retreated out his Castelli Blood Knights, which actually are one of the few units in the game that are able to do this.
Yeah, and it's different. It's not retreat, so he's going to be able to charge.
Yeah, so
which means they're going to get the extra rend and the extra damage on their attacks, which means they can do the damage into these blue horrors. Because they're only blues now.
Yeah, so we're into brims, which is where we start taking battle shot tests. Once you go into all brims, you're into battle shot tests. So this is actually really, really impressive, and he hasn't lost a lot in return. If you look,
so you've still got the 20 Graveguard down here as well.
Oh wow. Yeah, Simon's up against this. This is a bad matchup for him, truthfully.
Yeah, potentially. Do we know what round they're on? Because I think that's going to be the biggest factor in this.
I think this is only turn 2. We'll double check from our table boss now, but I think this is only turn 2. On table 2. On table 2, I think we're. Yeah, so we're just going into Gravelord's turn 2.
They are doing really well.
Tzeentch have just finished theirs. Oh, okay. Oh, so we have had our first result from out in the wild.
Yep.
For Team Wales, a 19-1 score.
A big win as well.
Again, just looking at the matrix, that means so Dan was running his Gargants. So he was able to, as you can see, get basically a 16 to 19 point difference over his opponent.
That's a big win.
That's a big win. Now, I talked about, just while you were away, Adam, I talked about the cap.
Yeah.
So, like, no one team can score more than 60 points a round.
Okay.
But I would say it's very unlikely to see a lot of 60s. I don't normally, in the last edition, we saw quite a lot of caps.
Yep.
In the last 6 editions, I would be unsurprised if we don't see a lot of caps this round, or actually any of the events.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised. So actually, getting those 19-1s is very valuable because it gets you closer to that cap.
Yeah.
60 points. But I'd be very shocked if we see 3 caps every round.
From
basically.
the way this is going, because you look at that Andy versus JP game, that looks like a really close game. This game is a fairly close game. Even the Lumineth versus Daughters Khaine, that's a close game with a close score.
Well, talking about table 1,
hello.
It's prime time. has happened, and this Gargant at the bottom has only got 3 wounds left on this objective. And the Prime has just done 9 damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see this Gargant lifted off, leaving him with just... So this objective is also his now. Look at Bastiladon sneaked off to go grab a piece of terrain because of the battle tactic. Not battle tactics, grand strategies. One of the really important things to remember, grand strategy-wise, is each member of a team has had to take a different grand strategy.
They have.
So we're not all seeing prize sorcery. So so Andy, I think, is going to be looking to grab as many terrain pieces as possible for his grand strategy, basically.
I think this is my favourite grand strategy. It's just like, at the end, just run around getting all the terrain, going, ha ha!
Yeah. So we also heard... So we've also heard that Andy has also gone for Savage Spearhead. He's turned the Slan into a monster using Metamorphosis, which is a spell. You're a frog, an undead frog. Well, probably a live frog.
This one's an alive frog.
Yeah, you're an alive frog. You're on a palanquin. Yeah, right? A floating stone chair.
Yep.
Right? Your mind is full of magic. You turn yourself into a monster.
Yep.
Teleport across the board using your mind magic.
Does he still fit on the chair? Does he like change into a monster, or does he just like? Does everyone think he's a monster?
I think it's more like he's like an idea. It's like an idea of a monster.
So he's like, I am a monster.
Yeah, I am a monster. Like he chose the monster within the inside frog monster.
He was like, I am this.
I am this monster now. Which means, though, he was able to do a battle tactic, which is important, which is Savage Spearhead, which, as you can see, 2 starting friendly units end up wholly within the enemy territory. The Bastiladon, who's a monster, and the Slan, who thinks he's a monster. And if they're both monsters, you score an initial victory point. I think it even counts if you think you're a monster.
So if you think you're a monster, but you're not a monster,
or you've
you're still a monster.
magicked yourself into a monster. It's a lot to break down. Let's just skip that and let's just go straight to table 4. Sorry.
Does anyone here think they're monsters?
Chat, do you think you're monsters? I think it's monstrous to think about it. I don't know. Anyway, we've just heard that Matt Goldsborough for Team Wales has won priority in this match. So this is a priority going into turn 3. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
So this is pretty huge. Means the tide is no longer flipped.
Goodbye, my Deepkin.
Yeah, goodbye, my Deepkin. Goodbye, my friends. So that means the board isn't as moist as it previously was, and that does mean that that means that he's not going to get strike first, which means the Lumineth ability to be ultra fast.
I'm not sure how I feel about you saying this about the tide, to be honest.
I'm just relating the story. I'm explaining the narrative to everyone. Like, I think everyone's okay with it.
It's not a well-baked cake.
I like it.
It's an overcooked cake at this point.
I like it, but
it's not moist.
Either way, the board isn't as moist as it previously was. Yeah, that does mean Lumineth have got loads of options going into turn 3. Like, it's pretty big. As you can see, Paul's been really smart. He's deleted an objective, so he's taken this one out.
Yeah.
Again, because of that tectonic shift that happens on turn 3. Turn 3, you're able to burn an opponent's objective. We've taken one out, and that means he's going to be able to slap back. We've lost one of the Alapexes that went in as well. So actually, Paul's in a pretty tough spot. He's lost an Alapex. He's only got one left. He's only got the Eidolon in. He's used his Cloud of Midnight.
I don't think Matt's lost a lot in return.
He hasn't lost a lot
He's still got all the Sentinels?
He's got this unit of 10 that was here is down. The other unit of Sentinels is down. Let's talk about those Sentinels again, and let's talk about their survivability. They're a 4-up armor save.
5 up.
For Wardens.
Wardens.
Sorry, let's talk about the Wardens. Sorry. They're a 4-up armor save. Now, you've got 2 ways to give them +1 save.
Yep.
You've got your Aether Quartz, so they carry around a special stone, which they rub on their armor. So they rub on their armor, and that makes them have a special +1 save.
Yep.
They've also got all-out defense via command point.
And
Mystic Shield.
And Sire.
And and also they've also got protection of Techless.
Yeah.
So what you're really looking at from those Wardens is a 3-up armor save.
Yep.
Maybe ignoring Rend 2.
Rend 3 if you Aether Quartz double tap.
Maybe if you Aether Quartz double tap, because you're in Sire, of course.
Yep.
Right? So you can ignore basically all Rend. Then you're -1 to hit because you're in Shining Company.
Yep.
And then you have a 5-up ward save from Techless. So
horrific.
It's not really a surprise. They're basically Phoenix Guard that are -1 to hit.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Okay. Oh my God!
No!
Table 2. This unit of 10 horrors on the side is dead, which is great news for people who don't like horrors and for fans. This is the Graveguard as well. Graveguard with great blades. Amazing unit. They're like elite undead skeleton warriors covered in armor with big choppers. They went in and killed these magical demons. Brilliant work. Yeah, super happy. The issue is Host Duplicitus, which is a change coven. Yeah, it's one of the special change covens, have got a command ability, and it's if you kill a unit of horrors, you can roll a dice, and on a 5-up, you can bring that unit back, and he did.
No.
He's done it.
No.
He's done it. Fans of horrors.
Nope.
We'll know. Simon's going to be over the moon because he's going to lose a lot of horrors this turn. And look at that. 50 wounds back on the board. 50 wounds back.
Sure.
Yeah, it's gone really well. So we haven't had any updates. I know people in the chat asking how the other matches are going right now. We haven't had any other updates. We've got Northern Ireland playing the Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland last night got into what I would call the Irish spirit. Yeah.
I don't think you made that up. It's not what you would call it. It's a generic.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Really.
They were full of Irish spirit last night.
The
Yeah, is what they were doing. So they're like the Ireland versus Ireland match is an exciting one. I just wish I was there. Personally.
I just want to sit there.
Yeah, they're so good. And then we've had no results come in from no other else because we've got England versus Sweden.
Yeah.
So the only result that we've had at all in any of these matches so far has actually come from Wales versus Scotland, which is the match we're looking at now. And that is a 19-1 win to Dan George and Wales. So Wales, the first one, planting the flag in the ground for the event, really.
I mean, it did still take him 2.5 hours to win with Gargants. So I'm not sure it's an achievement. But well done.
Yeah, so there's 3-hour rounds.
Yeah.
So you guys should be able to, I
think there's about 45 minutes left.
Yeah. Table 4. The Deepkin. Adam is beside himself. He's not happy because the Deepkin, so the Idneth Deepkin have really shown why they're the better souls. I like this. The Scottish guys just bump fists all the time. This is a great, cool thing that they do. Like, great roll there, mate. Fist bump.
Well done.
Like,
congratulations.
They're cool.
Good job.
Well done, Scotland. Well done. Like, really bringing it home.
But it doesn't excuse the fact.
Secretly rooting for Scotland. I don't know if I told you.
Oh, you secretly rooting for Scotland.
Secretly rooting.
But in your heart, who are you rooting for?
All of the teams.
All of them.
5 of the teams. So we've lost. Here we lost the Eidolon, the aspect of the storm.
How?
And then we also lost the Alapec because of there's 30 Sentinels and Teclis. Teclis has got a D6 shooting attack, and also Searing White Light.
But
Don't forget, Searing White Light did 24 mortal wounds in the previous turn. Again, that's a spell coming from Teclis, and it does. This is the important point. It hits every unit within 18 inches. On a 2 to 5, it does D3 mortal wounds, or a 3 to 5 it does D3 mortal wounds. But on a 6, it does D6 mortal wounds. You roll a dice for each model that it gets hit by. It's pretty amazing.
It's a really good spell. I am just beside myself here with this Deepkin player. I'm thinking I'm going to have to have words at lunchtime.
Yeah.
What was your plan?
What happened, Paul? I don't know. I don't think
Because I genuinely went into this thinking that the Deepkin were favoured.
You think so?
Genuinely.
I don't think they were ever favoured in this matchup.
Genuinely. I was like, oh yeah, they've got this. This will be fine. And, no. It's done nothing.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I don't know what's happened here. I'll be honest. Disappointed.
Okay. So on table 3, I think we heard our battle tactic was to kill the Wind Spirit because it was the general in the bottom right. I think that was right.
No, that can't be right because the Wind Spirits aren't heroes.
No, well, I don't know. It's the Lord Regent. Oh, it took. Yeah. Oh, he did that. He killed. All right. Okay. So the Lord Regent, he did kill.
Yeah.
Which was his plan. And then Wow. Okay. So this is what we heard. We heard Alex had to kill the Regent for his battle tactic. He achieved that. Done. Wasn't able to kill the Wind Spirit.
Yep.
However, in return, Andy, as you can see, this unit of Sentinels, which keeps regrowing, which is really, really bothering me. Yeah, really bothering me. They shot into the Melisai, which was
Medusa.
The Medusa.
Sorry. They wanted to kill the Warlord, so they shot into the Medusa. The Wind Spirit also shot into the Medusa, and they've left it on 2 wounds left. So he's failed the battle tactic.
Failed the battle tactic. So Andy's going to be pretty gutted about that, but I don't think he'll be upset about the fact that he just keeps bringing Sentinels back at this stage.
I just love how this match is actually how it's gone, because both armies, they've both got their shooting pieces left. They've both got an important character left, but everything else is gone. So now they're just sort of staring at each other, just shooting across the board.
Oh, and we've just heard Alex has won the priority into 5. He's currently up. I don't know. Is the score 18-14? Is that right? We'll just get an update on the score.
Alex has won every priority this game.
He's done really well, and he's got to be pretty livid about this for Scotland.
Because I think any priority that went to Andy.
Yeah, I think Alex has won them all.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He's won all the priorities, and I think if any one of them went to Andy, Andy would have won this.
I think that's true. I think that might actually be true. Yeah.
But Alex is going to tell everyone this is a good list.
By the way, just a quick one for everyone at home. If anyone wants a quick Christmas tip from the Tsports Network.
Oh, we're
yeah,
going into Christmas stuff.
Imagine doing Christmas events, right? Doing Christmas Warhammer, but you do the priority, but you do it with crackers instead. Like, you do a cracker.
Yeah.
That's how you do the priority. It's a great idea.
That is
a great idea.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You just get 5 crackers. You'd be having a great time. Such a good Christmas way of playing Age of Sigmar. Can't do that in any other game.
I'm into this.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, smashed it. Sell the crackers.
No, we're not going to Welsh accent when you say choppers, Rob. Not doing. Bloody hell. I can't believe Wales are doing so well this game. I forgot last time at Six Nations I was always doing the accents. So there we go. Welsh.
I feel like we need to stop.
I
feel like we need to stop.
We'll carry on. Anyway, priority into turn 5 in this particular match. There you go. That's how the game has gone so far. We're just waiting for the overlay to update for Andy for that round and get the score between these two players. But yeah, looking very comfortable for Alex. I think it's 18-18. So that priority roll was basically who won the game.
Yeah.
And then just looking at the matrix. It's going to be very, very close.
It is going to be a really
it's going to be a
50.
It's going to be a 15-5. It's not going to be a big romper stomper of a game. Talking about table 1, we have seen the Prime and the Gargant, and if you can see, the Prime did not kill the Gargant.
I think this is massive
in this match.
Absolutely huge.
That's absolutely huge. So that means it's going to be the Gargant is on 3 wounds left. So
but it's enough to still count as 20 models.
It's enough to count as. It's enough. It's enough wounds left to hold all these objectives. You're absolutely right, Adam. So it does mean that it looks like JP could score quite well here.
Well, he's going to get himself 6. He's probably going to get himself 8 points this
turn.
So
this is turn 5. Is this priority? Is this the top of turn 5 or the bottom of turn 5, please, on table 1? We'll just find out from our table bosses. We're in the bottom of turn 4, sorry.
Okay,
We're
so
in the bottom of turn 4, so we've got the priority to come up. So this is JP, bottom of turn 4. Lots.
I think JP wins the priority.
Then he takes the game away.
Yeah.
He takes the game away.
Because he's going to score himself, 4 for this objective, 2 for this objective, and then another 2 points for his battle tactic.
Yep.
So he's going to get himself 8 points this turn, which is going to put him on 32. So with 32-31, he gets the priority, scores another 8 points. So you go to 40-31. And then Andy has got to get himself 10 points to win the game.
Okay.
And I don't think he can. He'd have to teleport the Slan over here. The Bastillodon would move up here and kill this Gargant. So Andy could score it. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay, so just some massive news. Massive news. The Slan did Celestial Apotheosis, I think is what the spell is called.
Okay.
But basically destroyed
Yep.
the Amulet of Destiny, a spell that deletes artifacts, and deleted the Amulet of Destiny. So the Mega Gargant with the Amulet of Destiny no longer has it, which is pretty key. I think
basically
mystical unforging. It's
we
called.
need to all buy Slans
and just do mystical unforging.
If anyone's got an Amulet of Destiny, just put a Slan on the board.
I mean, that's a great
Get out.
call. That's also a great pick for Andy, actually, and a nice pairing.
Yeah.
14 whales to put that in, because the Amulet of Destiny, as we know, makes the Mega Gargant effectively like 80 wounds. So you have to. It's the numbers. There's a show on the Honest War Game you go watch. It's crazy numbers basically, but that puts him in such a strong place for taking out.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Okay, so JP scored 8 points for turn 4, 32-31.
I think if Andy wins this, he's going to win the game auto. If JP wins.
Priority roll coming up.
Here we go.
We've just heard the result. It's a Team Wales 6 on the dice. He's rolled a 6. It has gone to Wales and Andy. That is massive. JP has played his heart out in this match. He's played He has. Listen, you had to move the models around. He made the right choices. I don't know. Maybe the one model over here was bait, right? The 3 clumped. The one was bait. He brought the salamanders on, which, look, he effectively dealt with long term. Yeah. Andy is going for Slay the Warlord on the Mega Gargant, which is going to be a bonus point, right?
So I think basically all that Andy needs to do is... I wouldn't... So Slay the Warlord, can you get an extra point if you're a... what is it? A monster. Can you get an extra point for that?
Yeah.
So if you get... So what I potentially do is you teleport the Slan over here. You then cast Metamorphosis on that to turn him into a monster.
Yep.
So when you charge the Celestant Prime into the Gargant, kill the Gargant with a monster, so you score 3 points. Then you get the Bastiladon... Well, he already owns this one, so you don't need to worry about that. And then you score yourself 4 points for this one, 2 points with 6 points for this one, 1 point for this one, so that's 7 points, and then 3 extra points for the battle tactics. You're on 10 points, plus the extra 1 point for killing a monster.
Okay, yeah. So
I think he needs that extra point from that monster kill.
He does. He does. Like, it's because JP's just going to be sat left with one monster.
So I think this is a really interesting game, especially in this last turn. I think depending on what Andy does, JP still got a little bit of play.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this wraps up. I think we've just heard we're going into priority onto turn 2. Sorry, on table 2. I think we just heard we're going for priority into turn 3, which could be pretty key. We're just doing the Battle Shock phase now. Look at this. Like, okay, table 1 just quickly. The Prime killed the General Mega Gargant. There we go. He's out. So that's happened. Table 2, this priority roll is going to be pretty key, specifically for also deleting objectives, because maybe... so don't forget, you can't delete this objective. You can't delete this objective. They're Prime objectives. So you can't do that. So maybe he's just going to delete this one. If he doesn't get the objective, this will be Simon deleting it. David, if he doesn't win the priority, or if he wins the priority, I think he's going to be happy because he's going to want to delete as much as possible. Look how much he has taken out. David has done a fantastic job. This is so much output. You're looking at...
This is incredible.
We've already lost 50 wounds here.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. And now you're looking at close to 150 wounds here. And then another... there's another 30 wounds there. So you're looking... David's probably done over 200 damage in 2 turns already. And he's still going.
It's only turn 3, right? And it's only going into turn 3.
Yes. It's only going into turn 3. So
I think this is at David's game.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so as well.
Because we're down to brims pretty much everywhere.
But look at his points, though. Like, look at the points difference. This is actually going to be really...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because we're going into turn 3, you kill the rest now in turn 3, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're all taking Battle Shock, because they're all down to brims, right? You kill them, yeah. You now start scoring, and you still have 3 turns of scoring left.
Yes, but that's if he wins a priority roll.
He wins going to win it.
That's it. And don't forget, we still have these clutch pinks as well here.
Yeah.
Like, it going into the Graveguard. They're not going to take out the Graveguard, but if he does win the priority, with the spells coming out of the Lord of Change, yeah, and the Change Caster, don't forget, that's enough to probably... What he will probably do is whittle this unit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that objective back to grab that objective. Maybe even just retreat these out so he doesn't take any more damage. That's going to be enough breathing room on the primary where he scores another 2, another 2. So 2 points there, 2 points there. Another 1 for his own one. That's 1. That's another 5. That puts him up quite nicely that it's unlikely David's going to pull back. But if David gets it, he just needs to kill. That's turn 3. Oh, even if he kills, he kills, he scores. Oh,
I think it's just basically essentially this game is going to be whoever gets the priority this turn, because it's so clutch in this turn.
Yeah. So unfortunately, in table 4, it depends who you're rooting for. For Scotland, my secret loves, they did not win the priority into turn 4, and Matt Goldsborough of the Bad Moon Loons and Team Wales has shown. Matt Goldsborough has been playing so much Warhammer over the past 5-6 months since Age of Sigmar 3 came out. Not surprised he's made it onto a national team. Not surprised to see him doing this well.
Yeah, he's doing brilliantly.
Whoa, it's big news on table 2. Game winning, maybe tournament winning when the points get put together.
Yeah.
Table 2, we have found out Scotland have won the priority. David and his Castelli Dynasty Blood Knight list has won the priority going into 2. This is
a game.
This is a game. It's a game. He's got the Graveguard to come in, hit into these brims. He's got the skeleton. He's got is Arcan?
Manfred.
He's got Manfred. Okay, just on table 3, we've just heard Team Wales have taken out this match.
Yeah.
They've taken out this match, and it is an 11-9.
It's a super close game, like we said, all the way through.
Yeah.
And I think Alex is going to be really thankful for those dice.
Yeah, so Wales got an 11-9 there, which means for the round, because they've already scored a 19 off Dan, that already puts them on 30 points, which is halfway to the cap.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Wales cap this round.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Wales cap. Or maybe the cap's easier to do than I thought. Maybe it's... I suppose, actually...
Well, I don't think so, because if you look at the rest of the games, so you look at Andy and JP's games, that's going to be an 11-9.
Yeah.
You look at Matt's game, that's probably going to be a big win for Matt. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that as a 19.
Oh, no, actually, you probably see caps every round. I was like, you probably never see caps. But actually thinking about it now, because if you have 8 11-9s, then both teams cap.
I think if the cap was at 80.
Yeah, but the cap's at 60.
That's a low cap.
That's a very low cap. Like, what we mean by that is your team can only score a maximum of X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the low cap's good because it means that the actual games are going to be interesting all the way through. If you had that 80 cap, then it would be harder to achieve, which means that if you score 3 caps in the 6 rounds, 6 rounds? 4 rounds?
5 rounds.
5 rounds.
Yeah.
5 rounds. Then it just makes the tournament. You could win the tournament to game 3.
Yeah.
So
we have had some updates from the rest of the event, which is really exciting. In Northern Ireland versus Ireland right now, I think we've just had some results back in. It's 46-14 to Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland.
And you're saying Northern Ireland are one of the people that can pip England.
Yeah, the pundits are saying.
The pundits are saying.
Yeah. At the I haven't looked at what the odds are at the minute at the bookies. But the pundits are saying Northern Ireland against Ireland, and they're currently 54-6 is the current score. So Northern Ireland dominating Ireland.
They should be getting a cap this round. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. I got that, buddy. Thanks, bud. And then England have already got themselves a game against Sweden, 18-2. So there's only one result so far, but England have got themselves a win.
Okay.
So the favourites to win the event.
Yep.
The favourites, odds on. England currently leading that particular match, but we'll see what the results are as we'll probably give you the results at the start of each round.
Yeah. Because there's going to be so many results coming in and going around. It would just be easy to do it at the start of the next round, right?
Yeah. Has it been 2 Scottish priorities? It has been. It's been Scottish priority.
We've had 2 Scottish priorities at the end of a game when it probably doesn't matter.
Well, no, I think actually it's been pretty key, right? Like, as you know, this is a Welsh priority going into turn 5.
Yep.
Right? And that's given the win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Because it meant that Andy didn't actually have to do a lot to win the game. So he's going to win, I think, by 1 or 2 points. So that's going to be a 15-5.
Yeah. So, and what we've also seen is we saw the Prime use his shooting attack to take out the Mega Gargant here, which meant he was able to move over, get into his Mega Gargant, as well as the Bastiladon to try and finish off that Mega Gargant. We've also heard that the whether or not he takes him out is going to be the really interesting point, basically. So that's going to be pretty key, because if he does, he's going to be able to score more points, which makes the differential higher, which is going to be really important to make the round cap, which is what he's going to do. So that's this match. On table 4, with Matt getting the priority, it looks like it's a whitewash against the Deepkin. I wouldn't be surprised if we see close to a 20 here. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at all, because the Deepkin have nothing left.
Is this on table 4 that we think the score's going to be even?
Yeah.
Table 4. Okay, all right. So actually, so we're just hearing that basically what's been happening is the primary has been being scored pretty nicely by Paul.
Yeah,
although he doesn't have many units left. And then, and we're going into turn 3, or we're going into turn 4, please, table boss, which is going to be important.
It looks like we're going into turn 3, because Matt won the priority going from 2 to 3.
Yes.
So we've just finished Matt's turn, which he killed most of Paul's army.
So so Paul doesn't have much of an army left.
So without the stuff on the board, Teclis can just teleport himself over here using that spell, kill this, and then just score the whole board.
So we're just hearing that this is actually turn 4. Top of turn 4 is where we're at. So we'll just But
I still think this is going to be a big win for Matt, because you've got to remember that all of this is still worth a lot of points. So this objective down here is 4 points. That's 2. That's 1. So you're looking at 7 points there. You score a battle tackle, it's 9. You do it with a monster, you're getting 10. So all that Paul's got, it looks like, is the Tidecaster there. So you can do Slay the Warlord with Teclis to get yourself 3 points, score all that, get yourself another 10 points.
Yeah, you'd be on 11 points.
Yeah.
A big change, but I think that's the point about the Matrix, right? Like, again, for the scoring system, you do have to score by 16 to 9. Like, probably 16 to 19 is more reasonable, because it's like a soft.
I have a feeling it's going to be a 16-4, 17-3 to Matt in this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he might push an 18-2, but we'll find out now in a moment from the table boss, because they are just working out the score. And then once that's done, so of our 4 matches that we've covered, table 1's close to over.
Yeah, this is going to be an Andy win. But again, this is only going to be a 15-5.
It is only going to be a 15-5. You're right. It's going to be very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Looks like Wales are winning, but only just winning.
The event, the round.
The round. Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing too badly for results in at the moment. I don't think that we've had many more updates. Scotland got themselves 6 points because we've had one of those results so far. So currently Wales 34 to 6 against Scotland is the results that we've had in. We've had no more from England and Sweden. They're taking their time with their matches. And Ireland and Northern Ireland is where we're seeing the biggest disparity at the minute, with Northern Ireland 6 points away from capping.
Okay.
Like, they need 6 points from their match. And they will cap. So Northern Ireland again, the bookies outside chance along with Wales to take out the event. Very close. So over on table 4, we have worked it out, and Matt versus Paul, his Lumineth Realm Lords versus Paul's Ironeth Deepkin. It was a 10-point difference,
which is,
if we look at it,
it's
17-3. 17-3, still a big win for Wales.
That's like my second call of the day already.
That's another big win for Wales. That means that just between Dan George and Matt, we've had most of the cap scored.
Yeah.
60 feels low.
Yeah, but I think that's good, because I think if it was higher, then maybe it was you could win the event quite quickly.
Okay, we'll see. Okay. So over on table 1, Andy has finished his turn 5. The Gargant did not die. JP's Gargant lives.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that Gargant is called Lisboot, and he lives. Is anybody in Welsh in the Wales team? Some.
No. Their only Welsh player is actually on the sideline table bossing.
It is our table boss. Big shout out to Matt. Big shout out to both of our two table bosses, by the way. Matt and Mark doing a great job of bringing all the information from the weekend. This is only round 1 of 5 rounds. So there'll be 4 more rounds between these different teams coming up that we'll be able to give you the coverage of as time goes on. We will be taking like a longer break during lunch. So once we get the score for this, we're going to be taking a quick longer break so we can set it up so we can produce our infield reporter.
Yep.
So next round, we will be able to get you some updates from our infield reporter, which will be quite cool. So we'll do that during the lunch break. So you guys, oh, look at that. The prime's been lifted off in that particular match, which has been... Oh, he's not... Oh, he's not dead. He's just been moved. Okay. So the only match that we haven't got a resolution of is this one that's about to finish.
Yeah.
And then... oh, no. This match on table 2.
I don't think we're ever going to get a resolution to this match.
I think
somehow.
we will do, actually, because I think actually they might just... This might be one of those ones that gets talked out because it's getting close to... Look at the Graveguard. So David absolutely putting his foot on Simon's throat here. He's decided to move his Graveguard up, winning the priority into 3. He's pushed up very aggressively.
Yeah.
He's also even brought in the Fellbats. He's like, I'm bringing it all in.
Let's just go.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
So he's put them all into those 10 pink horrors that were summoned via the command ability because that unit of 10 pink horrors died. So there we go. And then he's also charged in all of these Blood Knights into these horrors. And we'll see what happens. But it looks like that priority had gone... If that priority had gone to Simon, I think it's a Wales win. In this situation, I think it's a David win.
I do. Again, I think it's going to be a close win. But the thing is, David's got a lot of work to do because it's at 14-8 currently to Simon. So I think it's going to be a close game to David, but Simon can still take this.
Oh. Okay, so result on table 1 is 44-39 for Team Wales.
So what's that, a 16-4?
That is a 16-4 because it's only a 4-point differential.
Yeah.
So there you go for you guys. So again, if you win a match, you get 15 points. That's how it works. And the losing player gets 5.
Yeah.
And then how much you beat your opponent by is on the side here. And then for each little rung that you go up, you get more points as you beat them. So these close matches. So that I think is just going to cap Wales for the round.
I think so. Yeah.
Straight away. So they're in a really good place. So Wales already capped. Is Scotland coach cowling in to throw in the towel? They would never give up. They would never give up and never surrender. So it's gone really, really well for them. So Wales pretty happy. I got to say, going from round 1.
Yeah, they're going to be filled with a lot of confidence now. And I think between Wales, Northern Ireland, and between Wales and Northern Ireland, they could have a real chance of winning the event.
They do. And what's quite exciting, if looking at the timeline, I don't think they play each other till round no, actually, I think they play at the end of today.
Okay.
Which is pretty telling for that round. And then England plays both Wales and Northern Ireland tomorrow.
Wow.
So
England have got a real tough day tomorrow.
They've got the contenders tomorrow, so that's going to be really interesting. That's not to say the Swedish aren't contenders as well, nor the Scottish. Scottish came last place at last Six Nations, so they're looking to make sure that they just beat that result this time.
Yeah.
Because they just want to you don't want to be wooden spoon at the event.
You don't.
No one does. So they're going to be looking to do that. And then everyone else looking to just do a little bit better. Northern Ireland came second last time.
Yep.
So it'd be exciting to see. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
It is going to be a brilliant weekend.
I really get behind Six Nations. It's so fun. Looking forward to Worlds loads next year. It's just really fun to see these people play. Right, this is our only match that we've got to resolve now. Thanks, Mac Readiness. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in live, by the way. Thanks for subscribing or tuning in. Me and Adam are going to be bringing you the coverage all weekend.
Yeah, we are.
It's going to be really fun. I mean, every horror spam list that we show you is going to be the same, but...
We could probably just play this game full time, and you wouldn't know.
Did we not hear that Horrors lost the last match that we just saw? I mean, Horrors might well lose this match.
I think so, yeah.
And it's pretty good because of the unique ability of the Blood Knights.
Yeah.
The Blood Knights have got an ability that doesn't count as a retreat to move out of combat and go and then charge. They do so much more damage on the charge. So they've got this very unique play, and you've got to be very, very impressed by the pairings that Scotland have done to put the Castelli into this. Because I would say 90% of lists lose to the horror spam list.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So this is probably one of, if not the list that beats the horror spam list.
Yeah, and I was surprised by how well this Graveguard did. But it was kill a unit of 10 pink horrors fairly swiftly. And, he's moved the Graveguard up to deal with that unit of 10 pink horrors.
Yep.
So it would be really interesting to see if they can deal with 10 pinks in one go. And if he does that, I do think then these Graveguard can just come over here, start dealing with this, and then all of this is going to break through next turn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
Because we've got to remember that Brims are now taking Battle Shock.
They are.
But when a unit dies, on a 5+, 10 pinks could come back.
I think it might be once per battle.
Is it not every time?
It might. It's once per battle.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain it's once per battle.
Okay.
Which is why he kind of wants the 30 to die before the 10.
Well, you can only bring back unit 10 anyway.
Yeah,
so if the 30 goes, you get 10 anyway. But yeah, I think now we're on Brims. I think this is going to be Davy's going to be able to get the damage, but Simon's still up on points by quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I want to say it's interesting.
It's close enough. It's close enough. Right. So just I'm going to give you guys a final points update for this round, and then we're going to take a break until the next round, just to make sure we can add some little technical bits so you guys can get some coverage from the rest of the event. Because if you do look around the rest of the event, I'll give you guys, as you can see, our TOs are already on their lunch break. Right now,
slacking.
Dan and Owen already, they're discussing the results. They're watching the match. Excellent, excellent. So there we go. There they are, the great TOs. Let's just love heart those guys. They're just doing great. So just fantastic. Nice to see them. Yeah, that's right. Get those Owen fans emotes in the chat. So that's the. I'm definitely just going to save that so we can pan on them later just to get them. TOs. Right, okay, and then if we just take a look at around the rest of the event, if you guys want to look here. So, as you can see, Firestorm is a phenomenal venue.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible.
Like, absolutely real. There's Dan George, Team Wales. You can see, there's our commentary team. There's Mark. What an absolute treasure. And there's Ireland. There's Colin and Dave Khaine for Northern Ireland, just having a little chat. As you can see, everyone else just playing it out. That's the Irish match at the minute. I think, as you can see, a bit of Irish spirit right here at this particular match. Yeah,
I think they've had a bit too much there. A bit too much Irish spirit on that table.
A bit much, maybe. But, you know, like that makes sense. And then over in the corner, just in this corner over here, you're going to see.
Over.
I think maybe there's our Tia. There's Math Mallow.
The only Welsh person here.
The only Welsh person
not
actually
playing
at the event.
For Wales.
And there's the rest of Scotland. There's Mike. And there's England looking to play their match versus Sweden. So there's some of those games still playing. As you can see, Sweden bringing our only lady competitor to the event.
Yep.
But great to see it. We'd love to see more of that. And then there still seems to be some pretty close matches. Looks like Russ is still playing. Looks like Dan Bredshaw's still playing. Looks like Darren's finished. And also, Man of the Hour. Like, again, I don't want to focus on it too much, but it is absolutely maybe my favorite thing at the event at the moment. The mustache on this man. I've lost him. I can't find him.
He's there.
Where is
to
he?
your left.
There
he is.
Oh.
There's a shelf in the way, blocking the moustache.
If we could get it, it would just be the Swedish team. Just great-looking lads, basically. So there you go. There's Dan. Anyway, so that's the rest of the match. There we go. And this, look at that. All the horrors are gone.
Wow. Yeah, look, they've broken through. There. They can get through to the Lord of Change.
We've had a question in the chat. Is it possible to see every game's results? It will be in post, Sarah Hantai, but it won't be possible to do it at the minute, unfortunately. But we do have a link to a Google Doc, and you guys can see what the round results are at the minute. So as a summary, I'm pretty certain for you guys. So I'll put that in the show notes for you. It's actually quite a lot of information to produce.
Oh, have you seen? Sorry, the Graveguard. Look how many pink horrors they've just killed.
They're so good, Graveguard. So good.
That's
3
incredible.
1 damage 2. Absolutely slap. They're so strong.
Okay, yeah,
2 attacks each.
David's got this.
Yeah, Dave's got this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well done, David. So that's good. All right. Well, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. I'm going to put the holding screen on now where you guys will be able to see when the next round times are. You'll also be able to find them out if you go onto the Tsports Network Twitter or if you follow the Age of Sigmar Six Nations Twitter. either of those, and you'll be able to see the next round time next. We're just going to go set up and make sure we got our infield reporting done, which is going to be super sweet. Thanks for tuning in to Tsports Network. Adam, you've done a great job.
Thank you very much.
It's been super sweet. Thanks to everyone for tuning in live. Thanks to our table bosses. We'll see you guys soon. Good luck to the teams. The rest of the Six Nations event looking really good.
It's
looking
going to
like
be
a
an
good
amazing
event.
weekend.
All right, see you guys soon. Bye.